Hey, good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year. As Ron Lim has just reminded me, it's if you haven't seen me since the New Year, it is a New Year for us here on the CAF Update as well. So Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had a good one. 2023, I'm sure, is going to be as fun a collecting year as 2022 was. I'm very curious to see how the market goes and all those fun things. And I've got a few things to talk about. I'm going to do some analytical things, I think, for the next CAF Update that I was pondering before the show. But I hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's nice to have all you guys in the chat as always. I wonder if Bill bought Poussey. I haven't bought it yet, Marcus. I had somebody email me and ask, told me don't buy the original hardcover, to buy the paperback or the softbound book. So I was poking through Amazon trying to figure out which was the right one. I think I've discovered it. And I'm going to pick that one up. So I haven't bought it just yet, but it is in my it's in my cart, so it's ready to go. I should have it. I'll probably buy it tomorrow. But yeah, I had somebody say don't buy the oldest original version of the 1 through 8 compilation because it was missing some forward in the book and a few other things, and that the cheaper book was actually better. So no, I don't have a giveaway tonight, everybody. Not tonight. I could, but I'd rather not. I did get my hats out in the mail the other day, so everybody who won the prior week should have their hats in hand today, tomorrow, maybe on Saturday, but they'll have them soon. But fortunately, no problems getting the show started tonight. For those of you who are watching the Dueling Dealers last night, it was pretty comical because everything looked like the broadcast started when like it should. I ran through the whole intro, played the video. We were the four of us were chatting, and then Mike looks down at his phone and somebody had texted him saying we weren't live yet. He's like, Bill, what's wrong? Why would somebody say that? I'm like, I don't know. And I looked up, and sure enough, it still said that the broadcast hadn't started. So it was funny. It was a private party, Rick. Nobody was laughing though, because I think as energized as I was when I did it the second time, I might have had one of my best intros ever. It just was. I practically didn't look at the script. It just was perfect. And then to find out that nobody saw it but us was a bit disappointing. But Emma was the spotter in the show last night rather than Gwen, because Gwen was working, and Gwen always has the show up on YouTube and she's watching it in the production booth. So she would have caught it immediately, seeing that the show hadn't started. But since she wasn't there, that's not how Emma and Maureen handle doing the production. So but it was funny. We all had a good laugh after the show about it. So let's see. Oh, Bootlegging says my scanner arrived today, so I'll have a better chance at getting picked for the CAF weekly update. Well, or at the very least, you won't get told by Chris Nork to post a better photograph of your artwork, Bootlegging. So get scanning on those. You'll definitely appreciate the better looking scans. I can assure you of that. But yeah, other than that, I can tell you we did add an extra $100 to Anthony's score last night, but it didn't get him close enough to win. So after reconciling my sheet to the spreadsheet, as good as Anthony did there at the end, it was still not enough to reach a tipping point to get him to win. Did anything sell while we weren't watching? No, Marcus, it did not. Since I'm thinking about it, because I didn't write it in my outline of what I want to talk about tonight, and Marcus kind of reminded me of this, that because he's number one in the position for the big show with Anthony on Monday. We can call it a big show, right? On Monday, we're going to be doing that Make Offers show with Anthony, where people can go to his website and find pieces that they want to make offers on. But you can do it during the show, but at the beginning of the show, we're going to be doing the pre-sent in offers to me. So Marcus got the first slot in, and so I think we've probably got about I'd have to go through all my emails, but about 17 people have sent in offers, typically combo offers, most people. So I would encourage anyone who's thinking about doing it to email in your offers for that show, just because at the end of the day, it may end up being that we're only going to get through all the offers that come in via email. So peruse Anthony's website and please send in your offers to me. Send in the links to the pieces that you're interested in, the total, if there's multiple pieces, and then what your offer is, and they will be handled in the order in which they are submitted. And I did talk with Anthony after the show last night, and since we're getting so many of them, what I'm going to do tomorrow is send him all the offer sets that we have so far, and then, but of course, take out what the offers are. I'm just going to say, here are the lists, because remember, knowing Anthony and that, how big his site is, there could be pieces that aren't available. So if somebody has 4 pieces in their offer set and we only have 3, I'd rather kind of get that out. And if possible, I might even be able to go back and let the person know that one of the pieces isn't available. So we'll see how that's going to work. Again, it's a little bit more legwork on my side to get this organized, but it'll be fun regardless, however it turns out. So but yes, Marcus is in the number 1 position, and but again, 17 or 18 offers so far. But what are you guys talking in there? I'm missing a whittle spoon. Aranga, I'm lost. Crotch Goblin. Yes, Marcus. I know. Carlos, trust me. Yeah, I believe I got yours, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying. I haven't actually replied to anybody yet, but I can assure you that I've gotten everyone that's been sent in. And I think Carlos, you were second, by the way. So yes, I did get them. So yes, I just haven't replied to anybody, but they are all here. I have gotten them. So don't worry about that. And I know in the email I said that you should contact me through the CAF gallery. I only did that because I wrote so many different PR pieces that I didn't want to put my email in every PR piece, but you can email me directly, bill@comicartfans.com, and or use my CAF gallery to send those in. Let's see. Rick. Yeah, well, that happens. I mean, trust me, Rick's saying that I requested pieces from both Mike and Anthony. And with Anthony, it happens more than Mike. But with Anthony, it's just because it's back to he's got the eBay store and his site, and he's got 27,000 pieces of art on it. And because he sells stuff on eBay, his stuff is just not in sync. And there's actually, I don't know when it was, like 4 or 5 years ago, we actually put a special bit into his inventory that was a confirmed in stock bit. And we did that because at that same time, we had integrated that real-time checkout into Anthony's site. And we didn't want people doing real checkouts if the item actually wasn't available. So when that checkout code was put into Anthony's site, they did a partial go through of all their inventory, and when they just checking everything that was in stock. And so they'd have to go back and edit every piece saying it was in stock. And then any new artwork that they were adding always had the in stock flag. So that might answer a question for some of you who've gone to Anthony's site and tried to check out. If you put 2 pieces in your cart and you're trying to check out, if both pieces are flagged as in stock, you actually have the checkout option to use your credit card. But if one of the pieces or both of the pieces aren't flagged as in stock, you can only do the standard want list submit from Anthony's site, because we don't want to try to have a credit card transaction go through that he's going to have to back out of. I can't stay. It's no problem, man. Nice to see you tonight. Anyway, so I'm going to get the one somber thing out of the way. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do a couple of 2022 recap bits. Next week, I'm going to do a show, a segment about sales. I'm going to go back and look at the last 4 full years of sales for dealers and auction houses, and just kind of do a recap summary and just see where the trends are. As far as, are we seeing, we know what we should be seeing, growth and continued growth, but we'll see. But I just thought it'd be fun to kind of look at the different metrics between auction houses and the dealers. Maybe look at the top 5 to 10 pieces that were sold at the same time year over year, just to kind of get a feel for that. We probably know what most of those things are, but just thought it would be an interesting thing, something that we wouldn't be writing up in a report that would go on the site, although it probably should. But I put together a video because one of the things that I was thinking about at the end of the year was how many creators that we had lost in 2022. It seemed like every week we were talking about somebody. And so Colin fortunately goes through and, he actually keeps our artist database up to date. And one of the things he was doing that I wasn't aware of was he actually was keeping track of when people had passed. And so we just went in and pulled a report of all the creators that we had on file that had passed in 2022. So it may not even be fully accurate, but it was just it was eye-opening, and there were a lot of creators whose names I'm not even familiar with that Colin was keeping track of. A lot of European artists passed this last year, even and it's amazing how many noteworthy creators we did lose. So yeah, I put this together, and feel free if I've omitted anybody to shoot me an email, because I thought I'd probably end up posting this as a video onto the channel sometime next week. But definitely, if I forgot anybody or overlooked anyone, please let me know. So without further ado, this is again, it was a rough year last year. We all know that. So let me play this for you. Yeah, such a amazing amount of incredible people lost to us last year, and I left out a lot of writers and other creatives as well. I just kind of tried to focus primarily on the comic artists, but yeah, rough year. And you look at it, so people like Bama and Ken Kelly. I mean, we lost a lot of people in the science fiction fantasy realm as well. Bober is an incredible painter and lost as well. So Lily Renee, you know what? You're absolutely right. Thank you for that one, West. I knew that I would get a few that I'd forgotten. Let me write that down. Thank you. Yes, no, I totally forgot that. And I knew there was a name that wasn't in my list and I couldn't remember. So yes, thank you, Andy, for the reminder as well. But yeah, hopefully we have a better. Oh, Bullen, how did I forget that, Rick? All right. I knew it. You can keep hitting me up here and I will make notes so that when I put this down on the channel for good, I will add them to it. Thank you for that as well. Bullenati. That was just a few months ago, or feels like a few months ago. So So yeah, so I'll do another, like I say, another 2022 kind of look back next week related to sales as well. But so changing pace a little bit to something more positive, something that I think we're all looking forward to, and I'm happy to see that it's doing so well so far. Was we rolled out the best of submission stuff a little bit early, like Kazra, Wade as well. You're absolutely right, Kazra. I am making a note on that as well. That was over the summer. All right. So back to the best of as we. Sorry. Let me pull this thing up here. Best of submissions is underway. I did send out an email yesterday for everybody to let you know that it's underway. I'm sure everybody here is familiar with what the best of is. It's the best collected artworks that you collected the prior year, and you had to post it to CAF during the calendar year. That's the only rule about it. I would encourage everybody to participate. I know a lot of people are hesitant. They feel like, well, their artwork doesn't stack up in general. It's not going to win. And that, to me, it's while it's a competition in its own way, the best of is more it's more about celebrating the hobby. You should be taking the 5 pieces you're most proud of and posting them. It doesn't matter if they're going to win or not. Guaranteed they probably aren't, but it's a good opportunity for people to see which 5 pieces you felt were the most important to you in the last calendar year. So I would definitely say get those 5 pieces out there. Yeah, Caesar, I knew it was a few months ago. Thanks, that's awesome. 11. I'll make a note of that too. 11-3. So how do you do it, right? How do you submit? It's super easy, and you just go underneath the Your Account and Collection. And the second link is enter best of 2022. And you can see I've entered 3 pieces already. But, what it does is it just shows you pieces that you added to your CAF gallery, regardless of room, in 2022. So this is basically just a list of everything I added. And as usual, I probably got 3 times the amount of art that I have shown in here. But what are you going to do? That's how I approach CAF. I don't get to keep things updated. But as you can see, it's very simple. If I didn't have these 3 pieces selected, they would be down on the list, and they would have a yellow background. As you can see, all the pieces in yellow say not participating. Let's see if I can. No, I can't make the screen any bigger here. Well, here we go. A little bit. All right. So you just drop select which category you want to put a piece in if you want to enter it. And like this piece here that I got from Andy right at the end of the year, I could put that in the, what do you call it? We'll call it some unpublished convention sketch, even though it's more of a commission, right? But so you just select that, go back to the top or the bottom and click the update your selections. And now you can see I've added that piece in here. The pieces you submit are not locked in until we close the submission period, which is on, what is it on? The 15th. Midnight on Sunday the 15th, we will close the submission process. So you can kind of set the first few that you have, think about it. You can always come back in and change it. So Justin Green. Again, I would encourage everybody to participate. Don't feel like you need to have a piece that's going to get you the grand prize in any of the categories. Just put it out there, because it's going to get more eyes on the pieces. This functions a lot more like everybody would wish the sketchbook works, because if you have taken a look at it, I'm sure many people haven't yet, but the preview page is out here as well. It's underneath Galleries Best of 2022 Preview. And in less than a day and a half, we've already got over 750 pieces submitted. So that's positive. That is a positive. But the cool thing being is that the pieces are really referenced back to your CAF gallery. So you're getting views on your piece in your CAF gallery when it's being viewed through the best of. And that was kind of the intent of doing this. It's it's sharing a piece out of your CAF, not having to add it back in like we did in the old days when it was integrated with the Lowry. So again, it's done properly, gets more eyeballs back to those pieces, but also will draw people into your CAF gallery too. So again, please submit, and I think you'll be happy when you do. After the submission period is over, then on the 16th, we will turn the voting on. And again, I would encourage everybody to vote. That's the thing. We always have twice as many people submitting as vote. You'd think everybody that submits would actually go out and cast a vote. Never happens. Only about 50% of the people who put art in cast a vote. And I've never understood that, but that's kind of how it works. So it would be great to have 100% participation on the voting side of the world as well when we get to that point. We give you 2 weeks to vote, all the way up to the 30th. And at midnight Eastern Standard Time on the 30th, we'll close the voting, tally everything up, and then on February 7th, we will have the wonderful presentation of the Best of Awards. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's, of course, we're going to celebrate CAF's 20th anniversary that evening as well. And so it'll be a good time. Be a very good time. I'm looking forward to doing it, as I think this is probably the 15th or 16th time we've hosted the Best ofs on CAF. I'm sure Brian Peck will confirm or deny that, or correct me on the actual number there. But how's the sketchbook revamp going? Well, I'm not revamping the sketchbook until, for sure I see a lot of activity there. I was going to talk about the sketchbook next, so I guess we can do that. As everybody knows, the sketchbook theme for the month is superheroines, or heroines, I guess. And what do we got here? It's under, so you can see I always put the sketchbook as the least most popular or interesting thing underneath there. It's the last item, just because it was always on its last legs, it felt. But you never know. That may end up changing. The current month, there are 109 pieces posted to it, and so that's a positive. But with that, right now, it doesn't work the way you'd want it to. You have to add your pieces back in. I actually had somebody email me just before the show saying, if you had it so you could assign pieces out of your CAF gallery into the sketchbook, maybe more people would do it. And that's true. But before we put that effort into the programming, I just kind of wanted to see how the first couple months of James Siegel's idea to kind of get more interest in the sketchbook goes. So if after February we see an uptick in participation in the sketchbook and a lot more interest over there, I will look into having I bet that's why you left it to me to turn it on, Colin. But at any rate, if after February I see the participation rise, and it looks like we are, then what we can do is look into modifying the programming in in March, April time period to make it easier. So the CAFies, can't wait. Everybody wants me to call it the CAFies. I don't know what the name should be for the Best of stuff, but it should be something unique. But it may end up being the CAFies. What are you going to do? And then of course I haven't gotten to the schedule, and I don't think I actually listed on there, but remember there with the approach to the sketchbook, we will have a show on February 6th led by James. That's a Monday night, where he will be, he'll have 3 other collectors on. They're going to be talking about their picks from that evening, from that month, as far as the pieces submitted in January, and pros and cons, best pieces. They're going to debate. They're going to make a bit of a show out of it, and that'll be a monthly thing. And we're just going to see how the sketchbook plays out. But again, it'll Mikhail put this Invisible Woman cover in here. Always one of my favorites. It's great, and it's already got 64 views. So I can already tell it's working. So but I could tell you that Maureen's programming schedule is packed until the end of February. So we wouldn't even be able to touch the programming in here until after that point. But it's looking promising. So next up, gosh, I got to check off so many things quickly here. This is good. Let me go ahead and hide that screen for now. So Peter Rowe surprised me with a weekly flip about Jason. With a weekly flip. I think he told me on Monday that he had it, or maybe it was Tuesday. And so I got him a Google Drive to upload his file to, and he sent it to me. And so it's actually, it's a lot. It's the full video of it is, I believe, 30 minutes long. I'm gonna only be showing you 10 minutes of it, but it's pretty cool. It is a sketchbook, a complete filled sketchbook that Peter worked on from, I believe, 04 to 2017. So he put a lot of time into this thing. There's, I think, 100 pages in it. So it's impressive. The first time we've ever had anybody do a full sketchbook, and it's all con sketches. Some he paid for, some he got for free, but very, very, very interesting. And so we looked it over, and I just said, you know, what we'll do is I'll do a third of it here, and then I will post the full 30-minute flip tomorrow. It'll probably go up on the YouTube channel at 1 o'clock. But I would encourage you to look at it, because there's the stuff in the second half I think is even better than the stuff that we're going to see tonight. And there's great stuff in the intro here as well. What are you guys? That's right. I am cruising through things tonight, and I am working on, this is actually the second Coke, though. I hate to tell you, Mr. Redjack. I started a little early tonight. I started at, I don't know, about 8:30. So a little bit early. But yeah, so let's go take a look at Peter's flip here. And again, just remember, tomorrow on the YouTube channel, you definitely got to tune in and watch the remainder of this. But here we go with the 27th weekly flip submitted to the channel.
This is my flip, Peter Rowe, for comic art fans of my original sketchbook. The original sketchbook started in 2004. This is when I decided to start getting sketches versus signatures for comic books and graphic novels. This went from 2004 to 2017. On the inside covers, I have signatures of some artists such as Steranko and Adam Hughes, Joe Sinnott, Greg Rucka, Herb Trimpe. Some of those were just occasions where Carmine Infantino, where I thought I could, I didn't have an opportunity for a sketch, but at least I could get a signature from them. On the right is my very first sketch by Greg Horn at the 2004 San Diego Comic-Con. The signature on the left, the lower left, is Ramona Fredone. She accidentally signed on the sketch, on Greg Horn's sketch. And then 2004 San Diego Comic-Con, Gene Colan, a fantastic Daredevil that he did at the con. I was the first one in line for him. A free sketch from Rags Morales. Free sketch from Dustin Wynn. This was at the DC table. Sam Glanzman, Haunted Tank. Again, the 2004 San Diego Comic-Con. I was really happy with this. I was so happy to see him that I didn't expect. I was so happy to get a Haunted Tank sketch from him. Pete Woods, 2004 San Diego Comic-Con, Batman. Leonard Kirk, 2004 also, San Diego Comic-Con, a fabulous JSA sketch. This was shortly during the, I believe during or shortly after the Jeff Johns JSA run. This is a Sal Buscema Thor quick sketch. I believe that was done at a Big Apple Con in New York City. And also Erwin Hazen, Big Apple Con, 2004. Mike Lilly, 2004, Big Apple Con. Damian Scott, I believe that was also 2004 at Big Apple Con. This was when the spoiler became the Robin very briefly in the Batman books. Really enjoyed that opportunity for her to become Robin, and very disappointing that she didn't last very long in that. Michael Lark, 2005, also Big Apple Con, New York City. Danielle Corsetto, I asked her to do a sketch of both the spoiler and the spoiler as Robin, and she did a wonderful job on this. in her style. Terry Dodson, Spider-Man, 2005. Also Big Apple Con. He he actually took the sketchbook home and did this and sent it back to me. This was very early on in his career. I'm very appreciative of that. Erwin Hazen, Green Lantern, 2005 also. I think Hazen did a lot of Green Lantern stories. Sergeant Fury, Dick Ayers, 2005. I believe that is the Baltimore Comic-Con. Jerry Robinson, 2005. This was at I believe, he was doing a few sketches for the opening of a exhibition, I believe, in New York City. So I always consider this the elderly Joker in the old folks' home. He's done a number. He did the standard sketches, and this was one of those. Although I really like this one. Tim Sale, Batman. Disappointed I didn't get better from him on that occasion, but I subsequently got some really nice sketches from him. I hope you can see this one. This is Paul Galassi. It's a very light pencil and blue line, then pencil of Catwoman of that current, of her current, at that time, her current costume. And that was at Big Apple Con. Jim Lee, that was also at a San Diego Comic-Con free sketch. The inks were done by, I think, Sinclair, who was his inker at the time. I'm very proud of this. Joe Simon also got this at a Big Apple Con. So it's my only Joe Simon piece of art. Sal Buscema, free sketch. And I think this was at Big Apple Con also. This is one of my later sketches, one of the latest sketches. This is Alan Bellman, who did Captain America in Timely briefly, 2017. I saw him at a Heroes Con. I was happy to have dinner with him and Joe Giola on that occasion. Terry Austin, 2005. I thought, this was at I believe, probably the first New York Comic-Con, and just wanted to get something by him. I asked him for the Joker, and he did that. This is 2010, Kevin McGuire at a Heroes Con. This is fabulous. He really knocked this one out of the ballpark. My first J.G. Jones at a Heroes Con, or I'm not sure whether it was Hero Con or Baltimore Con. So most of these sketches are going to be Heroes Con or Baltimore Con. This is a 2017 Alan Davis Ant-Man, and again, his pencil sketches are so good. This is my first Cully Hamner, and when I subsequently asked Cully for other sketches, he said, "I didn't really do that one that one wasn't very well done." I still like it, so it's very nice. It's my only Marshall Rogers. I didn't want to ask for a Batman, so I asked for a Nick Fury. This was at New York Comic Con. He did a wonderful job on that. Colleen Doran, 2006 New York Comic Con. This is interesting. I've got this Kevin Nolan sketch at, I believe, New York Comic Con. And then a number of years later, I saw him at Heroes Con, and I asked him for a posing sketch of Batman on the opposite, posing as in opposite page. Thought that was a lot of fun. This was Sal Buscema. I asked this, he was at a local, I think it was a Tyson's Corner, Virginia, one-day comic book dealers event, dealers selling comic books, and he was there doing free sketches, and I asked him if he could do this for me, because my wife and I were getting married soon, and that was a lot of fun. Phil Noto, Jonah Hex. I asked for this sketch with this front face with guns blazing of Jonah Hex, and I noticed that other people followed other sketch requests who followed with that kind of profile, which I was very pleased with. 2006 Heroes Con. Howard Chaykin, Baltimore Con. It was sort of funny asking him to do this because he said, "Oh, nobody likes my art, but I'll do it for you anyway." This is Walt Simonson, Hawkman. He did a GSA Classified Hawkman set of stories, and at the time I wanted to get a Hawkman from him. I should have probably gotten a Thor or Beta Ray Bill, but that's okay. I think the Hawkman's pretty cool.
So yeah, wasn't that awesome? I mean, that's only a third of the book, so plenty more to look at, and I will have it posted to the channel tomorrow. And really, there's lots of great stuff in there. The cool thing about it for me is, I'll bet you hardly any of that, or probably none of that, is posted in Peter's CAF gallery. I mean, at least I'm guessing. And CAF, the whole idea behind CAF was I wanted to see stuff like that, because the only site before CAF allowed you to post 5 pieces of art, and you never got to see what was in somebody's sketchbook. You never got to see what was the low end or freebies that they got from people. And that was that at that time. I mean, I was collecting commissions and I wasn't collecting published stuff very much. And I loved being able to see that work. And so it's kind of funny. I look at it now and I'm thinking this is just extending CAF now, right? I got an opportunity to see a sketchbook that I might never have gotten to see before. So thank you, Peter. I see you in the chat. And it's great to have these opportunities to view that kind of stuff. I never actually took a sketchbook around. I mean, or maybe I did and tried a couple, but it just always never seemed to work out. What I ended up doing early on was I would carry like 4 or 5 Bristol pads that had my business card taped to them, and I would leave those with the artist, and then rather than doing a sketchbook. But I'm always impressed by everyone who had the stamina to go through and actually get all those done. And the Nolan, where you had the Joker on the right hand side and then the Batman on the left, one of the things I always thought about doing, and is so many artists like to do quick profile sketches, right? I mean, Adam Hughes does them all the time. I always thought it would be fun to kind of go into a show where you would have the artist do a profile, facing one on the right side of the page, facing left, and then maybe at the next show you get him to draw like you get Wolverine on one side for one show, and then you do a Sabretooth on the other the next time you get to see them, have them kind of facing off, and that way you end up getting a really nice two profile kind of pieces. Never done it, but I've always thought, like, if I ever went back to getting quick sketches or something like that, that would be my approach to it, because then I'd end up getting 2 characters on every sketch. So again, thank you, Peter, for that. And everybody, look for the video to drop tomorrow. I will have it scheduled to go up at 1 p.m. Eastern. Mike, what is this? Brian says, I have a Mike Kaluta sketch of Plastic Man. He said, nobody asked me to do a fun one. Well, yeah, I could see. We're going to look at some Plastic Man art, I think, a little bit later today. But yeah, but again, thank you, Peter. I do appreciate that. And I wasn't expecting that. And as everybody knows, we could always use more weekly flips or CAF Cribs videos. And, you just email me out. The main thing is the format. Shoot it horizontally if you're using your phone, which most people are. If you can use a tripod, that's best. And outside of that, just you can film it in as many segments as you want. I'll edit it together and get it ready for prime time. So just go ahead and do that. Shoot me an email and I will give you a place to upload it. I'll download it and we'll have it on the show. I don't have anything lined up for next week. So hint, hint, anybody that wants to get me one, please do. Yeah, there's it's funny. It's free sketches. I got a lot of free sketches in the first 5 years that I was out there and getting, just going to cons and everything. But it's been a long time since I've gotten any free ones. But if the kid asks, as Marcus says, it can be free. Or sometimes if you send your spouse, you might get lucky. One of the early It was San Diego Comic Cons that I went to. I think it was maybe 2003. I actually got a free Jim Lee sketch, and I've sold it. What a dummy! I actually got a Wolverine profile. You spent at least 10 minutes on it, and I was hanging out with a guy who was like a sketch hound. He knew when like somebody was going to be at their table for an hour. And I remember he dragged me over when Jim Lee was just sat down at a table. So ended up getting a free sketch from Jim Lee, which was pretty crazy. So I'm going to keep, I am making good time tonight. Maybe the Coke is working. I don't know. But what do we got next here? I think, let me go ahead and, I can show you. As many of you know, we had that Sienkiewicz and Dennis Cowan show about a month ago. And Dennis had done 3 pieces, like pre-done pencil pieces that he sent over to Bill, and Bill inked them. And those were sent out. I think they were sent out like 2 weeks after the show. So a couple weeks before Christmas, somewhere around in there. I think they all ended up on CAF or posted to Facebook or whatnot. I've seen them around. So that was good. But they did take 4 other pieces that they were going to do, much to my fear, but they did. And unfortunately I pumped the brakes and said, we got to stop. We can't do more than 7, because I was already scared about the 3 that we were going to do. And so, when the show was over, they said, all right, we're gonna get the 3 done, right away. The other 4 might take a little while. But, because I had said, I think we'll have them done by the end of the year. I didn't know what to say because I've never worked with Dennis and Bill. But I did get an email from Bill or not Bill. I got an email from Dennis earlier in the week that he sent me 2 of the pencil pieces of the 4 that he put together and has sent to Bill. So Bill has 2 of the pieces now to ink of the final 4, and I think he's getting the other 2 this weekend. But I thought I would show you the pencil pieces because, and I'm sure, I know one of the people in the chat tonight is one of the recipients of these. Now, let me go ahead and show you what these 2 look like. So you got a Huntress and an Electra. So those are the pencil pieces that he's sending over to I think Bill already has these. So that's positive. Bill turned the other stuff around in like a week or so. So my guess is I'll have these. I'll get word that these are done in the next few weeks. And then I know that there was a Spider-Man, and I forget what the 4th character was, but hey, as I get updates on those, I'll be happy to share them because they did a great job on them. And I know that sometimes I know Bill's behind on some things, but I knew kind of going into this that whatever we would commit ourselves to get done, that they were going to work diligently to get them done. Yes, I didn't want to say it, Nick, but yes, the Electra is Nick's. So it's going to turn out great. I mean, just imagine what that thing's going to look like after Bill inks it. So I can't wait to see it. And the Huntress look great too. So I wish I could remember what the 4th one was, but either way, that all worked out good, and I'm very happy that it did because I was nervous going into it. But yeah, that's I'll share the other 2 when I get them because, like I said, one's a Spider-Man, and I don't remember what the 4th is. But hey, we're moving through those, which was positive. So let me go ahead and show you the schedule. I know I've omitted a couple things here, but here we go. Next week, I've got that Anthony show on Monday. So I'll send out a reminder email tomorrow, but just please, hey, if there's stuff on Anthony's site you're interested in, make him an offer. He's got to pay for his kids' college tuition. So he is looking to wheel and deal. And he'll probably bring a few new pieces just in case that, we run out of offers to go through. But my feeling is we probably won't even get to the new stuff that he might bring. So it'll be an all offer show. I'll have Josh Flanders on Tuesday. Following week, I'll have Ellery Santos and Jiggy on from Next Comic Art. That's on Monday night. That'll be an art sale show. Then Will's Portasio on that Tuesday. And then the following week on Monday, the 23rd, I'll be doing a fundraiser with Nick Barucci for Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. As we've been doing that. And Nick's been doing a lot of that. And hopefully they're getting close to hitting the marks that they needed to keep the store afloat. Then after that, I'll have Philip Anderson on, longtime art dealer and art collector. then, as was mentioned earlier by Jason and Marcus and whatnot, we'll have an amateur dueling dealer tag team match on Monday the 30th. The Legion of Dr. Doom, James and Jason, versus the Art Throbs, Mikhail and Fish. I cannot wait to see what artwork they bring, what costumes they wear, and what memes they come up with, because it's going to be interesting. I can't wait. And we haven't had an amateur show in a while, so the tag team match is going to be very interesting. So what else we got here? We've got Kazra, of course. I think Kazra, you didn't confirm for me. I don't know if Kazra's still here or not. I just put him in there as the 31st. I'm assuming that's okay, but that was the date I floated back to him, and I hadn't heard back. But if Kazra's wrong on that date, we'll definitely have him on sometime in February on a Tuesday night. Then what else we got? We got the best of presentation on the 7th, and as I mentioned earlier, the sketchbook show is on the 6th. Monday the 6th, and then the best of presentation is on the 7th. Then the Florida meetup that I know some of you in the chat are going to be coming to my place to attend. That's on Saturday from 11 to 5. Going to be a good time. I think I've got probably like 24 people confirmed so far, so it's going to be a big meetup for sure. I think most people are going to bring a portfolio. We're going to show off some artwork. We're going to have some food, hang out, celebrate CAF's 20th anniversary as well. And I'm hoping the weather is good so that we're not all just crammed in the house the whole time. But it'll be a good time for all of those who can make it. I'm sure I'll shoot a few video clips so everybody else can appreciate the fun event that it will be. Then let's see, Mike, what was the question here? Let's see. Okay, Kaiser's on for the 31st. Good. Mike said, if you send a request, say 200 for a piece, is the audience going to bid against you? No, these are straight up offers just between you and Anthony. So this isn't you're not in competition with anybody in the audience. I mean, I guess in some weird way, if Anthony turned, if you guys didn't come up with an agreement and somebody else wanted it, they could, but I don't even want to get into that, Mike. At the end of the day, if the deal doesn't work, we just move on to the next offer. So it's not like dueling dealers at all. We're giving everybody an opportunity to wheel and deal directly with Anthony like you would if you went to his warehouse or you saw him at a show. So yeah, nothing like that. Matt Moore wants to know, when is Gerhard? That is a good question. I should get back to Chuck about that. They had told me early in 2023. And I actually haven't talked to Chuck in a few months. So a good reason to give him an email and find out when we can get Gerhard back on. So Caesar wants to know about the second Bart Sears show. I mentioned it last week. Bart started a new job at the first of the year, and it's he doesn't know how intensive it's going to be. So while we had committed to having a show at the end of January originally, he asked us to wait and until he has a good feel for how much his workload is going to be with this new job. It's not in the comics realm. It's something outside of it. So he just wants to feel comfortable before he commits to it. So my feeling is he, we'll do something in February with Bart, but that is why he postponed it. So what else we got? Tony Fleeks on the 20th. Then I've got Christian Gossett on February 25th. That'll be a Saturday. And then all those other shows are on Saturdays too. I'll have Chaikin back on March 18th. Dan Brereton on the 25th of March. And Mike Oming on the 8th of April. Now, and I left these off. I know that with, Jiggy and I had spoken, and we're going to have Mannix back on, I believe, in February. And I forget the other person in March, but there will be other shows. I have 2 shows after the Ellery Santos show lined up on Monday nights in February and March with Jiggy. One with Mannix, and I can't recall the other one. It might have been a couple artists, but anyway. So there you go. It's a busy schedule, and Mikhail is already art throbbing. And there's also actually a Central Florida Comic-Con show in a couple weekends that I'm going to go to. It's in Lakeland, Florida, which is one of the areas that I'm scouting out for the show that I'm going to start in Florida in 2024. So I'm probably going to go to it. I forget. I think Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda are there. I don't think it's a very art intensive show, but let me double check. What was it? 21st and 22nd. So more than likely I'll go on the 22nd, but we'll see. At any rate, if anybody's in Florida that are going to that show, you might see me there, because I wanted to see the facilities, and it'll give me an opportunity to check out some other places in the Lakeland area, and possibly try to line something up. Is Brereton offering anything? Well, yeah, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. That those final shows that were on there, they're all sale shows. So the Christian Gossett is an art sale show. Anything in red is an art sale show. So Chaikin, Brereton, and Oming are all art sale shows. So yes, I can't tell you what Dan's bringing. I haven't talked to Dan yet. These shows that I do with Third Eye are kind of negotiated and lined up outside of my control. I mean, they just kind of say, are these dates good for me and for the artist? And then I'm cast into the role of moderator and salesman. So that's but yes, Dan will be bringing, I don't know what Dan will be bringing, but as we get closer to it, usually about a month out, I talk with the artist directly, because they have a better idea. Are they bringing some published pieces? Are they pre-doing pieces? So probably about a month out, I'll be able to give you a general idea of what Dan would be bringing to that show. But I love Dan's work. I don't own any of it any longer, but I've owned about 4 or 5 different pieces, a couple commissions, a couple published pieces. And yeah, he's awesome. He's a great interview, even though I've never gotten a chance to interview him. I've seen several with him. I've talked with him in person many times. I mean, he's a fun guy. So I'm looking forward to doing it. Hopefully we'll do more. It's the first time I'll have a show with him. And, usually when they go well, we get to do a second one. Marcus, yeah, you enjoyed the Scott Eater show when I lost my connection. Yeah, that was a moment, I'll tell you. But hopefully, it only happens at one time, never to happen again. So, all right, so that's my schedule for the time being, and I regret not writing down Jiggy's guys February and March shows, but I'll get those worked out. But again, it'll be good to have Mannix back on. I love talking with him, and anytime I get to hang out with Jiggy is always fun. So what do I got next for you guys? I can't tell you when the Kickstarter is going to start. Nick can't tell you either. I'm talking with somebody over at one of the Dynamite salesmen just to try to finalize a lot of the details on that on those books. But I can show you what the final versions of all the books look like, because I do have those. And hopefully, I'd like to think by next Wednesday we'll be able to start the Kickstarter for that. But it's those 100th episode. We're doing 3 variant covers. This one. This is the one that I get, because it was just something that I wanted to have done. I thought it was funny, and it wasn't really tied to an homage or anything. But this was the cover A. So I think we're gonna be selling them in color sets or black and white sets, and then with any set that's gotten, there'll be a like a virgin cover of the version on the left there, so no logo and whatnot. It'll just be the ink art. So it'll be limited only to people buying the sets. And then this one is actually the cover that Mr. Berkey wanted, and you can see they're both manhandling the art like they typically do when they're on the show. And another homage, Avengers 4. This one's Anthony's, of course, because he's front and center on it with his big dimpled chin. So that and his bunny slippers. I didn't know he wore bunny slippers, but I guess he does. But I can't give you a date yet. Hopefully it'll be next Wednesday, but I do have to work that out with with 2 Brown. All right, I'm a quart low on blood. Yes, I am, Rick. But Buff Billigan, nope, never going to happen. But anyway, but I will let everybody know when we can get the Kickstarter rolling. Hopefully it'll be soon, but I got to work out all the fine details on all that stuff, because I don't know how to handle shipping on comics or anything. So that's I've got to get all those boxes checked properly. Caesar wants to know when is the next Moy and Berkey rematch. I don't know. I wouldn't say, I would never say that Albert doesn't want to go against Mike and lose again. So, but my feeling is that we may never see another Moy Berkey match, especially now that cons are back and everything. But would I like that? Of course. I mean, it'd be great. That was one of the craziest shows we've ever had on the channel. I mean, it was the most well-attended live broadcast we've ever done. We had over 450 people watching that show live. I was peeing my pants the whole show, because you figure that was still in, I mean, we were barely a year into doing live streams. That was in the summer of 2021, right? So, you know, we weren't a year into Dueling Dealers at that time. So to have 450 people watching the show all at one time, I was scared. Yeah, go ahead, Marcus. Tell Moy that I said he's afraid to lose. Moy will never say that. He's scared. See, Marcus even said he's scared. Well, nobody wants to lose. I mean, Moy Albert wanted to whoop him, just like Mike. He wanted to whoop Albert. It was all, and they came so close. That was a good match. That was our highest sales match for the longest time until we did that expensive show between Mike and Anthony. But leading up to that, I mean, I think they did like 75,000 in sales that show. It was crazy. He didn't like your memes. I thought the memes were great. They're out there still. I should play those sometimes. Anyway, but so will there be another one? My guess is not. It was floated early on that, and Albert was interested, but I've tried to get Albert to do just some standalone shows, do another art drop with Tim Art or whatnot. I don't know. I just don't think he's moved on from that segment of things, but at least he's still around for the heritage recaps and whatnot. So I just can't promise that he'll be on a sales show with us anytime soon. And but I'd love to have him back. Absolutely, it would take him on any kind of show in a heartbeat if Albert would do it, because everybody likes to see Albert on camera. So, but yeah, look for that Kickstarter sometime soon, definitely in the next 2 weeks. So next up is, I'm going to do the heritage stuff right now. Now, the one thing is that because of the holidays and everything going on, we've got no heritage preview for the signature auction. So rather than do my weekly picks and whatnot, I figured I would just run through some of the stuff that's in the signature auction. It's, and we will do a recap. The recap will have to be on a part of a CAF update. So I'm thinking 2 weeks from now, that will be the night that we start the CAF update off with a heritage recap. So we'll probably limit it to like an hour and 15, half hour, 1 and a half. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah. So basically, I couldn't line up Joe for a show, and it turned out I emailed with him today. He's still out of the country, so he couldn't have done a preview for the signature show for the auction that starts next Thursday as well. So we couldn't have done one anyway. Is anyone else waiting for their art purchase? Is anybody? Mike Callahan, you should tell me who you're waiting to get an art purchase from. Send me an email. I mean, most people, I would assume. I mean, I can't imagine who would be, unless you're on time payments. You shouldn't be waiting on a piece of art you bought back in November. So from anybody, whether it was on Comic Art Live or anywhere. So yeah, if you got a problem with a seller not sending you your artwork, shoot me an email. 4C Comics, that's Ken. Ken's always in the chat here. Well, unless it's Ken ships art all the time. I mean, I haven't seen him in the chat tonight, but Ken's got his own sales channel and he sells stuff all the time there. I know he's shipping art all the time. So I don't know what the problem is, but I don't know. If you shoot me an email, I could bring it up with Ken. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, he ships art every single week, lots of it. So anything that if it was in his hand, then if it was in his hand, then I can't imagine why I wouldn't ship. There's no excuse for it, Michael. So, but feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk to Ken about it. I can't, I got no answers for you on that one. So, but because Ken was part of the 4C was part of the sketch event, and even all that stuff. He got those things, and those had to be drawn after the show. Were mailed out. So no, Ken's totally reputable, and I can't imagine what the problem would be, other than the artist not sending him the artwork that he was selling. If that, which does happen from time to time. I bought a piece. Everybody remembers this. It was one of the pieces in my. Yeah, actually, let me. I can show it actually here. that Wolverine piece by David Mack. I bought that at the, it's a blur now, having done this for 3 years now. I bought that in the May 2021 Comic Art Live event. David Mack drew that. I bought that from Kirby's Comic Art. Of course, Kirby's is in Europe. David is in California. The artwork got shipped to Europe and finally got sent to me, by Kirby. So of course it gets shipped to Europe, then back to Ohio. And I didn't get that art until 2022, because here it is here. So I bought it in May and didn't get it until like January 2022. So it took 6 months or so to get. No fault of anybody's, other than the fact that, it was done. They listed it for sale, and so some things happen. I mean, Annabelle's awesome. So typically something like that wouldn't happen. And I think I knew going into it. I think in the description it said it was with David and it would have to go around and back again and all that. But once again, Michael, I can't give you any answer on that at all. But again, if it's finished on a live show, was probably done, with the artist at their home. And that still means that the art had to get shipped from the artist to them, which, sometimes things can happen. But just shoot me an email, man. We'll work it out. But that would be, now that you've said that, now that would be my definite guess on where the bottleneck is. So back to Heritage. Yeah, I'm not going to watch the Kelly Jones show, Marcus. So I picked a whole bunch of pieces. I won't go through all of them, or maybe I will, but I promise I will go very quickly through the Heritage picks, because I think, like I was trying to say initially, we've had so many Heritage auctions where there's 800 to 950 pieces, and I think this one doesn't even have 600 pieces in it, right? I mean, it's probably one of the I don't think we've seen a signature auction with under 600 OA pieces for at least 3 years. It's been a long time. I don't think we've seen one since we've started the channel, so it's been a long time. So this is kind of what I wouldn't call it meager, right? But I haven't opened it up yet. But usually the bag that I get from Heritage feels about twice as thick. So there's 2 catalogs in here. So it's just not as full of great stuff as they usually are. But I'm very curious on a lot of the pieces. So let me show you a couple that I am interested in, and there'll be no surprise here. I think I mostly picked Marvel stuff while I was looking over things. But I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen this one, 110,000 on the X-Men '98 cover. It was funny because I've been waiting to see an X-Men cover by Cockrum. Or anybody, from the new team prior to issue 100. I've been curious for a long while, and now I get to see where this one's going to end up. So, I have my guesses on it, but it's everybody agrees. Yes, the Heritage book seems small. He even got it. He was able to wedge it in your mailbox, which usually can't be done. Absolutely, Alberto. But they're. Andy says keep those. I did write about them though, Andy, and I did put a bid on the Lee Elias piece just for the hell of it. Anyway, so where are we at now? Okay, this has always been. I'm a huge Sentinels fan, so I've always loved this cover. I can't wait to see where this one ends up, and I think it's gorgeous. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Hit 250, 300, 350. I mean, I have no idea where it's going to end up, but whoever gets it, I'm going to be very jealous of them, because this one's probably one of my favorite. This one and the Colossus Juggernaut cover, that's 103, 104 are probably my 2 most favorite early X-Men pieces. Nick Perucci's saying 264. All right. Daniel Evans says 250. All right. I'm still going to go. I'm going to go with 300. I mean, that's what my gut says, but we'll see. Then this one, man. I mean, this with the Miller and Wolverine limited series stuff. just this one's at 92,000 already. So I mean, it's awesome, but it you know, it's a great page, but it's like nowhere near some of the better pages out there. I mean, it's great, but this just shows you where this market's at. I mean, not many players left in the Miller Wolverine limited series stuff, but this is it's a great page, and it's already at 92.5. Yikes, that one. Wherever that ends up, it's already in territory that I wasn't quite expecting. But I mean, again, it is what it is. I mean, this one we haven't seen in a while, and it is gorgeous. So 92.5 there. Yeah, I picked this one just for you, Alberto. Look, it's got a giant cap on it from Secret Wars, and it's by Layton. I just thought this was fun to see where it's going to end up. Got a lot of X-Men on it. What was it at now? Just 51. So that's got room to go. I love Perez FF covers, and you get a Perez Sinat cover here. I mean, look at that! Shoot, that is awesome. I didn't even read this particular book, but love the cover. And Alberto's got it. You got it on your track list, yeah. Let's see. I'm not reading the chat while you guys are debating right now, but already want to bet with. So Jason's going high on whatever the end price is on that Miller. So, well, you would know, Jason, on the X-Men prices better than anybody. So an Eastman Ninja Turtle cover. I mean, who doesn't love these, right? I mean, this is what was this from? This is issue 8. Nice one there. So there's something not Marvel. Then I go back to Marvel with another origin page for Iron Man from Tales of Suspense 39 by Don Heck. This one's kind of cool because it's when Tony trips the booby trap and he gets the shrapnel around his heart. Look, what are they saying? He's going to die, right? Yeah, he's not going to live a week. So this is as close to origin storytelling as you can get for Iron Man, right? And yeah, no, it's cool. Look, it's kind of like, it's a tripwire, just like we did to Anthony on the 100th episode of the Dueling Dealers. Now it was an homage to this Tales of Suspense page. You didn't know that when you watched it, did you? So, but now you do. Oh man! And then one of my favorite Byrne books, of course, is from X-Men 131. This is awesome. You get Dazzler in it. I love this page. And it's a 23, as we know. I mean, where's it going to end? 50, 55? You tell me. I mean, it's Jason would know though. Let's see. It's kind of yes. You're right, Nick. You're absolutely right. I know Dazzler on that one. Isn't that awesome? X-Men again. See, I mean, I told you I'm like all Marvel when I was browsing through this stuff. This is what it's a Werner Roth, and then you get some Kirby and Ayers in it as well, Ayers inks. But very, one of these days I'm going to own a Werner Roth early X-Men page. It won't be a cover, but I wouldn't mind one. So, but this is nice. It's a 21 now. It's going to go up. Daniel Evans says 68 for the Byrne, probably with the juice, right? 20% tacked on. So what that puts it at? Well, that would put it at about 55 plus the juice. So that makes sense to me. 55 plus the juice. So yep, 68 is a very proper place, and it is a good X-Men cover, Nick. I mean, it's so nicely done. I mean, you get a full on. I can't even remember the name of the villain, right? It didn't begin with a T or something. Some Inca villain. I think I always liked that story. But so again, it's actually a really nice cover. The more I look at it, I picked this one because James Bama. We just did the people who passed this last year. Bama was one of them. I mean, he's such an amazing painter, and he went through so many different. He painted in so many different genres, right? I mean, we remember him for Doc Savage, but he did Western paintings for years and years and years. If you Google his name and then switch over to images, you'll be impressed by the amount of work that he did, not just in the stuff that we're most familiar with. So, but his Doc Savage stuff is totally cool, and I always love the monotone palette, and just great example here. And Curious to see where that one ends up. What do we got here? Jim Lee Punisher, right? And it's a cover. Look at that. Great. This. It was done in the 90s. There's so many pouches and places to put ammo and other crazy. What is that? A pen? It's even something to carry a pen right there on the strap. But what is this one's at 15 right now? I mean, nobody's hotter than Jim, so you never know where that one's going to go. Then this one, early Avengers page. What was this from? Avengers 6. Of course, it's got Thor on it, so I had to pick it. Second panel's awesome. And look at that. Was it the Black Knight or no? I don't know if it can't be the Black Knight, right? Who is the villain? But at any rate, great page. Kirby, and I've always talked about it. I love these 6-panel all box layouts. They're just they're like my favorite from the era. Jim Lee Punisher, 180. Everybody's making their all right, Daniel, 185. I mean, that's got a long way to go to hit 185, but you just never know. Another great Thor cover by Kirby Verporten and Romita Sr. So this is always one of my favorites. When I first started buying back issues, this would have probably been one of the first books I bought when I went to my first Creation Con, and it was probably like 81 in Cleveland. Was when I first really got introduced to buying back issues, and Thor was my my book, and I bought probably like 50, 60 back issues, all and nothing in good condition, but they were bagged. I was excited. I was buying $50 books and stuff, and so this would have been in that set, because I'm sure when I started buying Thor off the racks, it was a little bit later than this. This is 252. I'm sure it was before issue 300, because I remember buying issue 300 off the newsstand, but 252 would have been bought at one of my first cons, so that's pretty cool. And I agree, new covers are 50 to, well, they're 50, we could say they're 50 to 25 in that range. So a complete issue here. I had to throw some DC in here. Jim Aparo, Mike Carlo. This is the complete Death in the Family Chapter 3 story. Just, 22 pages. This thing's only at 10,000 right now, so lots of room on this one. Look at that. That's just randomly pulled that up. That's great. So that's got room to go higher. Sam Keith Wolverine page. You like this one? Jason, this is a nice one. This is a very nice one. Look at that. Shoot. Dang it, that is nice. It's no Brave and the Bold 123. I know, Marcus. So does Nick. What else we got here? What is this? His new Wildcat cover sold for $12K, says Daniel. Yes, I mean, sometimes they can sell for less than $40. We saw a couple Daredevil pieces by Tim Sale in the last signature auction. So here is another really nice one. This is an interior though, splash only, and got nice. It's just nice, right? I mean, great lighting on the bricks there. Fantastic Daredevil. I think there's several Tim Sale pieces in this signature auction. Several meaning like 5 or 6 other ones. You got a Howard Chaykin Miracle Man cover here. I thought that was nice. It's still early at 6,700. Yeah, lots of great sales pieces in there. Yes, I completely agree, Michael. There is. There's as odd as as low overall count as it is, there are a lot of solid pieces in this auction, so it should still do well. I picked this one because didn't this just sell on eBay a couple months ago, and now it's out there. Somebody's testing the market with it. They probably bought the 2 covers that came up at the same time, but this one's out there now, and it's at $52.50, and it's Bill Sienkiewicz from the era where you'd want him, right? This is an 85, and or an 83. Why does it say 85 in the description? Well, maybe it was done early, because these were those 4-issue limited series things that they did a lot back then. So maybe the art was done early and the book just didn't come out. But again, we have a price point on eBay from the last couple months, and then we get to see where this one ends up now that it's on Heritage. Yep, and I agree with you on that one, Marcus. I thought the Miracle Man was really nice too. I wonder if you approached Chaykin at a con, if he would draw a Miracle Man for you. And any of you, next time you're at a show, ask him if he'll do it. It did go cheap, Nick. Wasn't it like 12? 12 to 15. I can't remember, but I'd have to go back and look. But I think that's where this piece ended up on eBay. But it's eBay. That's what we expect. Not a lot of high stuff. I picked this one because I wanted to use it for an upcoming Dueling Dealers episode, so I was going to steal it. But because look at that cheap shot by the Hulk. Come on, Snork, that's a foul, isn't it? When the Hulk punches the thing in the back of the head, that's not fighting fair. But you got Jim Starlin, Al Milgram in this Marvel Fanfare page. It's at 5,000 right now. So, but yeah, I had to pick this one because I want to scam that image and use it for something on Dueling Dealers. But well, let's see a couple more. See, I'm getting through this. Brave and the Bold. Speaking of Snork, look at this, Chris. We got an awesome Hubert Brave and the Bold Hawkman. I mean, that last third there is awesome. But again, I mean, I love when they slide these full width panels in there like that, and just cram in all the details and the lettering. It's beautiful. But it's only at $3,500 now. But market on these should put it somewhere between 11 and 13. So out of my range by the time where it ends up. But this is awesome, really awesome. And I actually like this third panel where they have their masks up a little bit. I think that's cool. And I thought this was interesting. A Wrights and Jeff Jones Swamp Thing page from from 74. It looks a bit more Jonesy inking. It's hard to say who did the majority of the work on this, but again, it's that 6-panel even layout that I adore, and this was from 1974, still at $2,700. Wally Wood. Somebody said Wally Wood is still alive somewhere. Somehow I don't think that was true, but this is an early Wally Wood from 1951. Look at that thing. Everybody loves Wally Wood machinery, so you get a little bit of that. There's like a little Ditko vibe going on in there too, huh? So what was this from? I didn't even bother to look. Weird Science 8. Let's see. What is Rom curious about? Curious if the Hubert will go for 15K or so. Yeah, I mean, those pages have been going for, like I mentioned, they were between 11 and 14, I think. Because I've been paying attention to them, because I think what was about 9 months ago, we sold one on Dueling Dealers and we sold it for like 8.5. And then immediately after that, we saw similar pages going for that 11 to 14 range. So it just sticks in my head that that's kind of the range for those pieces. But 15 wouldn't be out of the question, especially given the fact that there's less than 600 lots in this auction, right? There's more money. You have more money to go around because you're not bidding on as many things, probably. So that would be my guess. But you never know. You never know. Okay, Bissett, Taliban Swamp Thing. See, I'm getting the DC stuff in here, but look at this, man. This thing is incredible. I mean, look at the detail on that. It's crazy. I mean, so this one's at $2,100 right now. I mean, that's going to go a lot higher. I mean, obviously not a lot of stuff going on there, figurative wise, but it's a beautiful, beautiful page. Only 2 more to go. Man, I didn't think I could do this that quickly. This is from Brian Bolland, right? Camelot 3000 page. Those don't come up too often. And I thought this was great. I love the last panel, just everybody in silhouette. I mean, I know that's not what you'd want from a Bolland, but hey, at the end of the day, it's a Camelot 3000 page. So very, very nice. And what did I pick for the last one? Oh, a Chris Weston. He's one of my, I've gotten to meet him a few times. Awesome guy, incredible painter. And I just love this piece. I mean, Chris is just, he's very, very talented. There isn't a whole lot of his work out there. I was lucky enough, Matt Kennedy sent me that one published piece by him, but he's just got a great style. And I've always really, really admired his stuff. I've got like a few prelims by him, a few con sketches, but I like this one. It's only at $1,450 right now. Maybe I should bid on that one. It might stay under 3. Probably not, but I don't know even if this was published or not. Oh, it was. Judge Dredd Magazine 325 cover. So there you go. And an Akira homage, says Chris. Yes, it was. And I think it was even noted, wasn't it? Yeah, there you go. C. Weston after Otomo. So there you have it. That's my last one there. Look, that is good. I love it. All right. So there are my heritage picks for the upcoming signature auction. I won't do my weekly ones for you, but they were in the newsletter that mailed out at 8:00 tonight. I had it queued up to go out at 5. It didn't get sent. So when I realized it hadn't gotten sent, I popped back in there and it was frozen up in MailChimp. That's why it went out late tonight. But you can definitely go back to the email that I sent out earlier to see what my 10 picks were for the week. And I really just kind of went mainstream on those as well. But there's actually a fair number. There's actually really good write-ins in the weekly auction. Were there 3 Cycle of the Werewolf pieces? There were at least 2. And I always talk about those. I mean, they were more atmospheric landscape kind of pieces. So no werewolves in them, no characters at all. But they were darn awesome. So I would definitely encourage you to check out the weekly auctions as well. But don't bid on Lee Elias pages because I want to get one. So anyway, all right, I'm going to close that. So next up, before we move on to the CAF update, right? And I think I've checked every box except for one, and that is the EXP promo for tomorrow night. As you know, Nick has his show at 7 p.m. every Friday on the EXP, the original art experience, where Nick gives you at least 1 or 2 nuggets of historical information about the hobby. And then it sells 12, 15, 20 artworks every single show. He makes it fun. They do a giveaway every night. The show's has constantly grown in popularity. I mean, it's always a good hangout. As much as we enjoy hanging out here on the Dueling Dealers, the Nick's show on Friday is always fun, and I always tune in as often as I can. But here is his preview for tomorrow night's show.
Everybody, this Friday, which I'm pretty sure is going to be January 6th. I might be right, I might be wrong, we'll find out. But this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Amy's shaking her head, so I got it right. On the original art experience, we're going to have a really fun show. And actually, this is going to be more of a chill hangout show, talking. We do have some cool art, which I'll talk about in a second, but I thought we would have a more relaxed week. So this way, I don't know, we can do some Q&As. Maybe we'll bring an art dealer with some art on the air. So what we have that I'm bringing on the air is Weapon X number 19. And because I'm dyslexic, we have page 20 and then page 18. And it's Ron Garney Pure Pencils. Then we have Ghost Rider 39, page 1 from 1993. So 30 years old. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't kid myself or you. Then we have Thanos versus Hulk. This is awesome. Blastar, Annihilus, Hulk. Wait till you see the Blockbuster price this is at. But this page of Thanos versus Hulk with Blastar and the Hulk, look at this top panel of Hulk. Very reminiscent of Marvel Fanfare 21 and 22 by Starlin. We're going to have some commission cover art, as we normally do. We're going to have these 2 pieces together of Hulk versus Thing. Chris Norick, I'm thinking of you. Then we have Wong, because he was in my favorite episode of She-Hulk. And then for Jeff Wedding, it's always a good day for a Jeff Wedding. And in addition to the commission cover art, Marv Wolfman sent 4 signed scripts for us to offer to you guys to help raise money for Fat Jack. So this was really cool of him, and I thought bringing it in on the original art experience would be the way to go. This Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, as it always is, on the original art experience. Like I said, I wanted to make this week more of a chill week, more relaxed. So less art, more fun, unless one of the art dealers comes on, then, you know, we'll talk about some of their artists as well. So see you Friday at 7, and hit that thumbs up, please, and share. Sharing is caring. See you guys.
Nick, I think that was the first time I saw edits in there. You just like rip those things off every single week. I saw 2 cuts in there. You should have just done a retake so that we didn't see that. But I've always marveled at the fact that when Nick does those, he can talk for 2.5 minutes and never skip a beat. But I saw those clips in there, cuts, man. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't think we'll probably never see those cuts in there again. But yes, definitely tune in tomorrow, 7 to 8 p.m. on the EXP. And I did like that Hulk page, by the way. So let's talk about the CAF update. We're finally at the CAF update. This is covering the period of the day after Christmas, December 26th, all the way to New Year's, January 1st. So it was a busy week. I don't know, what was the total on the sales? Let me see. It was over $1 million between dealers and auction houses. And it was, see, Nick I got it, Nick. See, you're too perfect. You are too perfect in your delivery every time. I've never seen that before, but you handled it well. So back to this. Now the dealers had a remarkable week, and it's all, I hate to say it, because of Mr. Berkey, but the week before, the week leading up to Christmas was what we always expect, $127,000 in sales. But this last week, the 26th through the 1st, $701,000 in sales. Now, typically that week is actually kind of slow. I would have expected it to be around 127,000 again, right? So when Colin kind of pulled all the numbers and I got him, I'm like, what the heck is going on here with $701,000? Well, I looked at it, and Ramita Man had 10 sales, $609,000. He made up, what is that? I don't even know. I'm done doing the math. 85% of all the sales were for him. And I was, okay, 10 sales. That's an average of $60,000 a page. How could that be possible? But anyway, so he had 609. Anthony had, was next, 28,000 in sales. Scott Eder had almost $28,000 in sales himself. And then Felix had 12 sales at 18,000. But yeah, new house for Mike. Exactly. I think that about covers it, because I know what he had to pay, and it was less than that 609. So yeah, Mike's got his new house. So we're going to take a look at those top 6 pieces. And as you might imagine, the first 4 pieces are all from Ramita Man. And let us take a look at those right now. So like I said, 701,000 total for Comic Art Dealers last week. And here are first 4 pieces, all from Mike. This is from Spider-Man issue 20, as are all the first 4. This is page 5. Steve Ditko, $150,000 on the asking price for this one. Same issue 20. This is now page 6, so sequential pages there. This one's $150,000 as well. All of these sold on New Year's Eve, 12/31. So this same issue here, this is page 20. So we don't even have Spidey in costume, but all 4 of these pages went for $150,000. And that is the Ditko market, everybody. Oh, and then we do get him here. All right. So issue 20 as well. Page 2, we get Spidey in costume. We get the half face with the mask. That's good, but still $150,000. So there is your $600,000. So next up, Scott Eder. How did he get to that 28 number? He sold this one for $22,000. It's Robert Crumb. It's the inside front cover to issue 8 of American Splendor. And finally, was this a complete issue? I can't remember now. 1977 by Paul Pope went for $16,000. I do know that I got a few emails from Felix. I think that was potentially complete. But so there you go, $600,000. It was complete. Thank you, Mikhail. I thought it was, but I got like 3 or 4 emails from Felix over the holiday. I don't remember, but yeah, very nice pickup for whomever got that at $16,000. Award nominated. Yes, that is true as well. And there was a lot of dialogue in those Ditko pages, but at the end of the day, that's when any of us started collecting at whatever point in time it was, whether it was 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago, Ditko Spider-Man has always been the blue chip artwork. Didn't matter. When burn pages were X-Men pages were selling for $500, the Ditko pages were selling for $2,000. It just didn't matter. They were always at that kind of realm exponentially from other art around it. So here we are even today, where those were good really good pages, right, at the end of the day, but 150,000 for each. I mean, we know, I mean, you see a good fight page that would come up from a later issue after issue 20, it goes for $250,000. So but that is the Ditko market, Eric. I know, believe it or not, you just have to accept it, because that's just how it has always been. Alberto, that's a good idea. Someone needs to do a dramatic reading on those Ditko pages. We should have had Mike do them before he sold the pages, right? I mean, that would have been the thing. He's what was it, last night he did 2 or 3 dramatic readings from his pages. But anyway, moving right along. Auction houses had a great week too. They did $384,000 between the weekly auction for Heritage and the eBay auctions. That's up from $297,000 the week before. So again, that's not normal for around the holidays either, but it was bolstered by something that I didn't see when it was out there, probably because it was the holidays and I wasn't looking. But there was one auction in particular on eBay that has skewed these numbers, and I'm sure those of you who were paying attention to eBay saw it. Let me go ahead and just show you the top 3 from eBay and then from Heritage. So first up is eBay on this set. So $384,000 is the total for the week between eBay and Heritage. eBay made up $220,000 of that. Here is that first piece, the Quarantine Sketchbook cover that was out there. This was for charity too. Sold for $40,100 by Mike Mignola. All of that going to the Central World Kitchen, and fantastic on Mike's part there. Next up is this Web of Spider-Man Annual 2-page by Arthur Adams on eBay, sold for $8,750. Probably would have done better on Heritage, but still a good price for that one. And then this is a gorgeous Michael Turner Aspen number 3 page, went for $8,000 on eBay as well. Then over to Heritage. This was a complete Sunny Trinidad, Son of Satan number 7, or not complete. It was a partial story. $5,000 for this one on Heritage. I don't know how many pages were in that one, though, unfortunately. Sorry. Then we got a Milton Caniff, Terry and the Pirates Daily from 1935. This one went for $4,300. A little racial bit there at the end. And then what do we got? A Mike Plug, Wizards. Let's see. It's a production drawing from Elfin Army. This one sold for $4,320. So there you have it. And I wasn't paying attention to eBay or Heritage really at all. Not doing that calf update that one week, threw everything off. I did not know that, with the matching donation for the Magnolia cover. So those 2 items like suit. Okay. Well, see, I am reading through, but yeah. So I don't know how. Well, I know how. Like I told you guys, I really took those that time off without having to do that calf update. And Jeff wants to know, just out of curiosity, is there a reason why someone would sell on eBay over Heritage if they have a great piece? The only thing that I would think that would keep people away, Jeff, is the 20% seller's fee. Over around 10% on eBay. I mean, and depending on the level on eBay, I guess it could go a little bit lower, since they're kind of tiered. The higher up it goes, there's a cap. But so maybe people feel like they have it's a wash. I don't know. People who like to feel more in control of their sales. Let's see, but no, I would say there's no good reason why people aren't picking Heritage or even Comic Link, right, or Comic Connect. I mean, everybody's getting better prices, and eBay. It's just surprising that there's still that kind of stuff, that volume going through there. I think when all the sellers get their 1099s from eBay this year, that's when you're going to see people start looking elsewhere, because I still think a lot of people don't realize that they're going to be 1099 from eBay this year. In the past, some sellers were 1099. With 2022, everyone is 1099 from eBay. So I think it's going to be a shock to a lot of people. I think they're going to be very, very surprised. Those collectors or places that aren't businesses, because businesses always were 1099 through eBay, but now everyone's going to be. And I think you're going to just see some changes in things, especially on eBay, with regards to the items that are on there. I think you're still going to see businesses list their stuff, There are for sale, but I think you'll find collectors looking elsewhere, right? So let's see. Daniel Evans isn't eBay 12.9% for. Not really. I mean, it's tiered. It's I'd have to go. I'm not going to go look it up, but there's over a certain threshold, they take a lesser percentage. They kind of stagger what they take. So the average might be 12.9 or 13, and that's including the credit cards fees, which would be 12 or 2.7. So on a standard like $5,000 item, 10% is what eBay's taking out of that, but it is tiered. And I agree with Marcus there. Calf Live will get more pieces listed. Absolutely. I think that's what we're going to see. Yes. Let's see. That Mike Plug is from Wizards. Okay. Thank you, Delight. It looked familiar, but I couldn't tell. Let's see. Michael Callahan says, I think they delayed the rule for a year because I was not ready. I don't know. I mean, if they did, that's what they've been talking about all along. But if they canceled it and they're going to delay it, well, one way or another, it will still end up meaning more artwork during Calf Live, which is what we all want. So let's see. And Andrew says, I think people will walk away with something close. Yeah, I get you. All right. Well, Chris Nork is in the green room. We've got some artwork to talk about, and it's 10:36. So let me bring Chris in here. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Good. You're flying tonight.
I'm trying. Well, but I thought I was flying, and now it's 10:36 though. So I don't know where I lost my time. I was doing well early on, but what'd you think of that flip earlier? Wasn't that from Peter? That was pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah. It's fun to see sketchbooks.
It is. It was hard. Have you ever done a sketchbook?
No. Early on, I had a friend that was into OA before me. Always did a sketchbook, and he said, don't do this. He said, don't do what I did. He's like, I got to lug this thing everywhere. He's like, I can't display it. He's like, I can page through it and that's cool. But he's like, don't do this. So,
well, I get it. I mean, I think I felt the same way. And I don't know what I think I had one and I got a couple drawings in it. I don't even know where it is, but I gave up early. It just wasn't, it wasn't for me. And you saw that Peter even mentioned that on the one piece, what was it? Was it a Lopresti or, no, it was a Spider-Man drawing. Can't remember who it was, but where he said he actually had to let the artist take it home and send it back to him.
I've heard that too. Yep.
Those kinds of things would drive me crazy. So that's why I bought, I decided, because a lot of times the artists would want something to draw on. They didn't, either early on, they weren't bringing their own stuff. So I literally would bring 5 pads of Bristol thinking I had to leave them around the room. And you didn't mind if the artist was going to take that home with them. And I think that might have only happened to me one time, but yeah. So I had to commend Peter. Terry Dodson. All right. Thank you, Peter. That's right. But you got your sketchbook back. That's the thing. That was good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, cool. Let's take a look at some artwork.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, how was your New Year's, by the way?
It was good. We just had friends over and ate and drank and played games, and so it was low key but very enjoyable.
Good.
Yeah. How about you?
I was home alone, but it was okay. In mine, it was quiet. It was actually really quiet. Unlike now, we Emma, she decided she wanted to get a pair of kittens. So we've got 2 kittens and our older cat that isn't getting along with the kittens. So unfortunately the bigger cat ends up hanging out with me because I'm not in the main house. I'm outside, and she just wants, it's been rough. It's been rough on all of us. So,
and not 1, 2.
2. That's what I told her. I'm like, why did you decide you wanted 2? I mean, we could have just done 1, and I bet you the big, the older cat might not have cared. But now there's 2, and so it's going to take a long time for her to figure out. Yeah, exactly. And these things I forgot what kittens are like. They're insane. They're trying to. We have you've seen like that brick fireplace thing. Mm-hmm. They're trying to climb that. I'm going to find them up in a rafter one morning.
I'll never pretend to understand cats.
No, I realize I don't understand them either. But hey, look at this amazing Alan Davis piece. Garrett's. Oh my gosh, this thing. Yeah, this would have been my pick as well. I was going to make this image the show graphic, but I couldn't figure a good. I always have like the Comic Art Live logo up in the upper left, and I kept trying to move things around, and I just gave up because I couldn't do it. But this was probably my favorite image that was on the site from that week. It was great.
So that's the first thing I want to say. I think it's probably because of coming out of the holidays, but then also leading up to Best of. I know I say this a lot, but there was so much good art to pick from. I mean, it was insane. But this jumped to the forefront right away. I love the composition. I love Phoenix's wing stretched out like the ghostly Excalibur in the background.
Right.
I think this is a commission, I think. So I mean, for the commissioner, wow. I mean, what a home run to get this from Alan Davis.
Yeah, I agree. And I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It was all the best of art that was popping up that made everything so difficult. I mean, it kind of made it easy. I was just like, I'm picking 10 and I'm done. I can't keep looking at all this stuff. But this piece was a standout. I mean, I'm still new to Excalibur at the end of the day as a story, but this artwork is phenomenal. And I did not even realize. I didn't even check to see. You said it was a commission? Yep, it was a commission. Yeah. So congrats to Chad on that one. That it's stunning, absolutely stunning.
I mean, this could have been a poster, right? In the in the 90s, this could have been a poster easily.
Well, I assumed it had to be because it's too good. I wouldn't have expected him to be able to get commissioned to that caliber.
And everything it would be perfect for it.
Wow. Well, congrats. Yeah, I hope this was added to the best of. It must be. Here, let me get my like on that one. So switching over to this next piece, and Duke Fleed, and I thought it was funny. He's saying Duke Fleed, aka #1 Groove fan. So now we can't forget.
He can't make up his mind.
No, he's got to. Yeah, that way he has to be remembered. Everybody's like, where did #1 Groove fan go? Well, now we know. But this sticks back. I've asked Duke back on the show, by the way, Chris. I said, hey, I want to talk about this transition thing, that I feel like went on in 2022 or beginning maybe in late 2021. He hasn't decided he wants to come back on or not. But I think it would be a great conversation because it still comes back. And I look at this stuff and I'm like, man, it's just every time I see a new piece by him, I'm smitten by the change in direction. I feel like, but maybe it's just me. But that's why I got to ask him. But tell me why you picked this piece.
I like this because I felt like it was sort of a tongue-in-cheek homage to that famous Jim Lee Ghost Rider cover. And obviously it's featuring the same two characters and whatever, but I thought it was such a wild pose for Ghost Rider is what really struck me. I mean, it's almost like a Spider-Man pose for Ghost Rider, which is so weird. And the Punisher's kind of like haphazardly like chasing after him almost. So the composition, like the idea for the cover was almost comical, but like I said, I just thought it was kind of a cool almost homage to that Jim Lee cover, so I like that.
Yeah, no, it is very nice, and this is LaRocca inked is cool. I mean, I actually really like this piece a lot. I love the splat, the white out or whatever they're using on here to kind of mask out the bike. I bet you that wasn't. Yeah, I was gonna say if I looked, I'm not even gonna look at the color piece. I like the black and white too much, but yeah, no, nice pickup. The Amazing Ghost Spider says for Cirilla.
Yeah, seriously, Ghost Rider's got to be. I mean, it's one of those things, kind of like where people could, artists sometimes complain about having to draw the Flash. It's like, well, how many different ways can you draw somebody running, right? And it's like, well, how many different ways can you draw somebody riding a motorcycle? I guess too. That's even more boring because the motorcycle's static; it's unchanging.
Right. That's true. That is true. And Paul Ferentz is claiming the #1 Groove fan status. And Rick is agreeing. Yeah, Paul, you could claim that title too. So, but yeah, no, I thought this was a great piece. I pondered it as well until I saw you had it in your list. So, no, great piece there added to Duke Fleet's calf gallery. Then we got a Sikowski piece from JLA 19.
So Nick was busy. posting that week, and it was kind of an embarrassment of riches just to pick something from Nick's gallery. I am a hardcore dyed-in-the-wool Justice League of America fan. I have Justice League of America from Brave and the Bold 28 all the way to like Justice League 100. So this stuff is very near and dear to me from a nostalgia perspective. Not that I was around when it was being made, but this was my like real hardcore foray when I started collecting Silver Age comics was JLA. So I love this, and the reason I think I love it the most is because in these issues, it's actually somewhat rare to get everybody on the same page. You know, I don't know that they were written that way on purpose or that was an editorial thing, but like that top panel where literally every Justice Leaguer is in that panel, that's rare, and that's like such a cool thing for, you know, obviously Nick is a huge fan, so for somebody like that to have, I think is amazing.
Agreed. No, I really like this page as well, and like everyone's saying in the chat, Nick posted a lot of great artwork in the past week, so that was good, Nick. I mean, you were able to catch up on things over the holiday. I know how that is. I actually scanned a lot of my artwork. I just ended up not posting it, but it's a beauty. But again, it comes back to, you know, this is the DC that I never get. You know, they're surrendering to the law. I mean, they're superheroes. They don't have to do that, but they're doing it. I mean, they must have done something right. They're good guys, right? They uphold the law. So
they don't have all those dirty emotional problems that the Marvel characters do.
That's right. Nobody's got inner turmoil of any kind, and that's what Marvel's full of. All right. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I gravitate to that kind of dilemma in comics personalities. Let's see. So let me get my like on that one, and let me get this one on here already. So let's see. This is on. I want to see. Yep, Joe A. But of course it's Joe Attila. Atala. All right. This is a Sin City Marv by Zaffino.
Yeah, I love Zaff. I think I'm hard pressed to think of somebody who makes a tough guy look tougher than he does, which is I think what I love about this so much. I mean, you know, Marv is like ridiculous, like over the top, almost like pastiche tough guy, but he doesn't shy away from that. I mean, he's literally got multiple knives sticking out of him. I love Zaffino is so awesome with these gray tones. His tonal work on this is incredible. The washes, I think there's zip in a couple of places, but I think maybe the coolest thing about it is the way he laid the figure like into the page. Like the composition of this piece is terrific for, you know, it's like a single figure commission, but he doesn't like let that get in the way of like doing a cool design and like doing something interesting with the page.
Right. I mean, rather than just plopping him in the center of the page. I mean, he knew what he was going for, pulling, you know, him out of the shadows here. So he's like, I don't need to show any of that. And
knives kind of like radiate out of into that negative space.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I love just the way he handles the shading in here. I mean, you almost expect to find fingerprints in it and stuff, right? Because it's just the way he does his ink work in here. I mean, this is, yeah, it's great. It's really, really great. Like Andy Fish just said, that's incredible. It is. I mean, shoot, it's stunning.
I like seeing different artists take on Marv too, because, you know, it's so Miller's vision of how the Sin City characters look is so, you know, singular. It's so like dialed in that seeing somebody who even is 10 to 20%, like I'll say more realistic than him, like just makes the character look completely different, but at this point still recognizable. So I think that's cool.
Sure. And Chuck says feels like an old Jason Pearson. I guess I can kind of see.
Totally. Yeah. That could just as easily be like Clown Face instead of Marv.
Right. And hey, Kevin Sharp mentioned on that prior JLA piece that it was regarding the characters, that was a Julie Schwartz edict.
I thought that I divide into small units. Yeah, the like it was editorial was like, yeah, break them up and, you know, whatever. So it was almost like little vignettes on every page. Like, okay, this is what Flash and Aquaman are doing. This is what Batman's doing. This is what, yeah.
And I didn't know who that one character was, and everybody said it was Green Arrow. He didn't have his beard. I was looking at him thinking, who is that?
Adam's on there too. He's itty bitty, but he's there. He's there.
Right, no, I saw Adam. I got that, but I was like, who is that other guy? It just wasn't making sense.
Yeah, he literally looked like Robin Hood back then.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right. So what do we got here? This is in Nicholas K, who's got 5 thumbs up already. That's great feedback. And let me get this. So it's Giffen and Smith on this. Is this a published piece? Tales of Spider-Man and Webster's 422 final splash page.
Yep. It's cool and I guess novel to me to see Giffen working on Marvel characters. I know that this wasn't a very long period where he was at Marvel, so I think that's cool too. His ability to kind of do whatever he wants as a penciler is just unfailingly amazing to me. He can choose a new style basically and then just execute an entire book in that new style, and then the next thing he does will look 30-40% different than the last thing that he did. So picking this as a big Giffen fan, but also I don't know, I just think this is really cool. There's nothing like really impressive about like the layout or anything like that, but the power effects I think around Surfer are really cool, and everything is simple and graphic, which I really like, and almost Kirby-esque, but still this is uniquely Giffen.
No, I agreed. I always loved Giffen's work, and I mean, I think the inking makes this be a little different. I mean, in the approach, I thought. I mean, I think that, but I like it. I mean, it's consistent. I mean, there's something about it. These heavy lines and spots versus all the thin lines around it. It threw me off when I first looked at it. I was like, why was it done like that? And I'm sure I'd be curious to see how it was colored, but no, I like it. I like it a lot. And I mean, when was we probably don't have a year on this, do we? No, I was curious when it was done, but it doesn't say.
I want to say this was early 2000s.
Okay.
That's what I don't know. My memory fails me when it comes to, it's not good when it comes to dates, but I want to say this is early 2000s.
Well, it's a good pick, and Nicholas should be very happy to have this one in their collection. Was it added in time?
It's a unique take for sure on both characters.
Yeah. No, I like it. I really do. Switching to a Pacheco, and who is this? Oh, Christopher Daly. Christopher, awesome piece here.
Avengers Forever is one of my very, very favorite Marvel books, period. Probably my favorite Avengers story. Busiek, Pacheco and Marino on this title. That's like a dream team for me personally. I think they're so terrific together. I just like that first panel really a lot. Where it's obviously Hawkeye. There's like the Hawkeye, kind of elements to the Old West costume. And then I think it's Songbird, and I can't remember who that middle character is when they're dressed up like that. But I just think the whole thing with them being in the Old West is cool. They run into Two Gun Kid there in the next panel. Mm-hmm. But just awesome work from Pacheco. His figural stuff is so good. The drapery is so good on the clothing.
No, I agree. I do think it was on Dueling Dealers, Jason.
I think he says that in the description, actually.
Did he? Yeah. It was funny. I was looking at this piece and I'm like, where did I see this before recently? And I was worried. I'm like, did we do this on the show like some other time? I couldn't, I can't remember. So I hate the fact that, I look at so much artwork anymore. I can't remember where it came from, but you're right. I think Anthony's might have sold this one, but I completely agree. I mean, this is a gorgeous page. The inking is phenomenal. Pacheco's awesome, but the Marino's inks are just fantastic on this piece. That first panel is just great, breaking that, with their feet coming out of the panel like that. Old West artwork I always enjoy, no matter when it's done. And this is cool. I never read this story though, so it was a good read as well.
Oh, awesome. Loved it. Kevin Sharp says Yellow Jacket in the middle.
There we go. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, Yellow Jacket was this story honestly made me love Yellow Jacket. I was like, oh, I like Yellow Jacket now.
get that on there. Well, congrats, Christopher, on that. Thank you for buying it on Dueling Dealers. So okay, now this one, you have a thing with people getting things stuck in them. I mean, Marv had all those knives and stuff.
I do too. You know what? I have this wolf tattoo, and he's got arrows like sticking out of him. So maybe that is a thing.
Show it again. Show it again.
He's got like arrows sticking out of him. Yeah. So maybe that is a thing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it is it is an element actually in like Japanese tattooing and old school American tattooing is they have arrows sticking out of things. But anyway, I actually picked this because I thought it was so insanely well rendered. I love the pattern that he's got going on the sleeve. I love all the intricacies that are kind of laid into those shoulder pads. I just think that this is so well rendered in that almost like wood block or like stamp kind of composition that's incorporating the name Usagi in the top, and then it's just so well done and so tight.
It is really nice. So, see, so it's commission. See, I don't think I've ever been in this person's calf gallery either. So from Spain, are you familiar with the artist?
Nope.
Yeah,
didn't know a thing about it. Just liked it.
Guillermo Bosch. Huh. Guibo.
Oh, so Guibo is a mashing nickname of the names. Gotcha.
Yeah. Guibo. Huh. Well, I've got an artist that doesn't have any other art in there, and one of my picks tonight too. I mean, I have no idea if they have other artwork in here, but yeah, no, it's nice. I mean, I like the texture. When I didn't see this piece go on the site, but I like it when I went through your picks. Same thing. I mean, I love the fact that there's just so much texture going on in the piece that's not part of the blacks, the outlines, and everything. I like the sleeve as well. I like the extra texture in the shoulder, armor. So yeah, no, I mean, it's a cool piece and an interesting take on the character too. I mean, right. I thought so. Yeah, it's really nicely done as it's a solid illustration. It's very contrasty to the Marv piece, where no, this one's front and center. It's outlined. It's a different way to approach a commission with a character, but equally as solid. I mean, it's funny. He's covering up, Usagi at the top, right? I mean, it's very, there's a lot of interesting elements to this piece that leave you thinking more and more about it as you look at it. So,
and it could have, he's breaking basically every panel border or almost every element, and that could lead to a lot of like ugly tangents. But it doesn't, because like he broke them in the right spaces and he broke them kind of in the right way. It's really well done.
Agreed. Well, I'm gonna check out. See, well, I won't look now, but I'm curious if there's anything else out there on calf. Let's get this next one. A cover recreation. Have we ever shown a cover recreation on a calf update?
I don't know. I want to say we have, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
I think a lot of like maybe homages, but I don't remember a recreation before. But it's Mooneyham, right? Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris does a lot, and I know that he's very well respected in the cover recreation realm for people who get cover recreations and commission people. Like Chris is, I've never met him. I don't know anything about him. I just know that he's highly regarded as somebody who does a great job, very professional, timely, all that.
Well, we see why.
Yes.
I picked this because this is one of my favorite Uncanny covers. I always love the way Colossus looks on this cover. Colossus is I'd say Colossus is my favorite X-Men character. And the way he looked on this cover originally was so awesome. But honestly, in the Mooneyham version, Wolverine's stealing the show here. He's so gritty. He's so gritty looking. He's grittier than he is in the original, which is saying something. So I think the extra hatching, the extra rendering, whatever that Mooneyham puts into this, like stylistically, compared to Ramita, really makes this for me.
So you had FedEx scan this one.
All right.
But yeah, we'll be expecting to see the your new scanner in action soon. Let's see. Chuck says it's so good. It's like he inked it in the Dan Green style. Well, that's I mean, that might explain, like you were saying, the difference in how Wolverine is done here and handled here. It's different. But again, Chris it definitely is worth the time and money. I have no idea how to reach out to him, but Bootlegging does. So if you're looking for a cover recreation, Bootlegging can probably steer you guys in the right direction if you're interested in having Chris do something.
I like Colin's comment too. His work is like if Lee Weeks and JR had an art baby.
Colin. See,
Yeah.
Colin would be great on this show with us.
I know.
See, Colin, I'm telling you, man, one of these times you got to come on here. You just have a drink or two. Come on. You'll be relaxed. It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah, your commentary, live would be well respected. I promise.
Agree.
You. But yeah, no, it's great. And fed excellent covers. Oh, man. So yeah, J-Mo mentions every time I think I have Mooneyham style down, he manages to change it up a little. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know a lot of collectors have worked with him. So nice piece here. Let's see, we got two more. Kyle Holtz, Swamp Thing versus Predator. The details in this one are just crazy.
It's insane. This thing, I just had to pick it because of how bananas it looks. There is so much going on in here. I mean, it's so the inking techniques that are on display in this piece are like second to none, and it is just so incredibly insane, over the top. Like every place you look, there's something freaky and like it's crazy. I love it.
There you go. And hey, just so everybody knows, Bootlegging said the cover recreation was arranged through Felix. So there you go.
I was gonna say I thought he wrapped Mooneyham, but I couldn't
remember either. Yep. But back to Kyle though, I agree. I mean, his stuff he's always been crazy, hyper detailed in this far out, fashion. But he's perfect on this piece. I mean, you can see him drawn Swamp Thing, Batman. I mean, he's made for that kind of stuff. But gosh. When I
contrast like the shapes and the textures versus in Predator versus Swamp Thing, right? Swamp Thing still manages to look like organic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Predator, yeah, it's a monster, but like he's got metal, he's got claws, he's got like the tendrils. I mean, like there really is a nice distinction, in spite of how busy this is. There is a nice distinction between the characters.
Yeah. Look, that tie, I didn't even see it. The target's like right on his forehead.
Yeah.
Just about ready to fire a missile right in his head. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love Kyle's work. So this is great. Oh, it's got skulls in it. I could never hang it on my wall.
No good.
But I like that. It's so funny because it almost feels like it would be stiff the way he's dropping the Predator in at a 90-degree angle, but it doesn't feel it at all. I mean, it's cool.
I will say that it's cramped, right?
Yeah.
Like the Predator is so massive, and he like really, squashed the pose to put him in there. So I will say that it is cramped, and it is busy for sure, but it's busy in the coolest way.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, the fact that almost when you see it like this, you almost don't notice like you're saying he's plant. The other guy has more metallic and other hard edges on him. It just bleeds together in this. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I love it. Look, I didn't check. Oh, Brian Clark. Congrats, Brian. This is a really nice piece. And all commission. 9 comments. I'm glad everybody's get some more comments on this piece for Brian. Like there. And then the last piece, David Marquez, Civil War, or New Civil War, or Civil War 2.
I picked this because I'm 99.9% sure I've never picked David Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
He had a brief, but for me, memorable run on Fantastic Four because I really love the way he drew the Thing. So I've always been kind of like an admirer of his work. From that perspective, like he was somebody I took notice of like right when he came into the industry. So I always like to see like what he's working on. But ML's comment nailed it. It's the image of eternity here that really is that's the whole jam. I do really appreciate the panel stuff that he's doing at the bottom. It's definitely got like a J.H. Williams feel to it. Yeah. It's a DPS. It's got all that stuff happening design wise. I think is really cool. But yeah, that image of eternity is just sick.
No, I agree. And I was going to mention Williams as well on the way those panels were done at the bottom, but yeah, it is it's gorgeous. The eternity is stunning. I'd love to see this in person just to see, because there looks like there's a lot of detail in there. I mean, on this scan, but in person, I have to believe it would just blow your mind to see this piece. And I love the fact that the way those panel outlines are, they're so graphic, right? I mean, it contrasts the way he handled drawing eternity too. So
I almost wondered if the way they look, the flat tone of those panel borders makes me wonder if they were digital and he printed them on a board.
I wonder if he
I mean, we see that from time to time, but
let's try to see. Well, it even says computer art, so some of it he must have I don't know.
Oh, maybe the whole thing is digital.
Maybe the whole thing is digital, man.
Well, damn it, that'd be a first too.
There you go. Well, there we have it. Let's see. Chris Alberto says, Chris, I thought you were going to go pick Rick Verbanis Cap 266 cover.
Couldn't do it. I did a Zek Cap cover last week. I believe me, Alberto. It was right here. It was right here.
Right. Well, no, I think it's the second digital piece that we've talked about. Didn't you have one? Remember there was a staircase piece, or am I thinking of something else? But I don't know if it was Mark.
Right. You might be right.
There was some. Well, that explains a bit there then. But it's okay. It's okay. I love it. There's let's see, what do we got? Christy.
Aranga's on me now.
Snorrick on the monoprint train.
Wow.
I did see Chiaroscuro's doing a big drop from somebody. Who are they doing? Ivan Rice or something like that tomorrow. All on the monoprint stuff. So
ML says he picked one. Pick on ML for a minute.
Was it ML? Oh, that's okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was. That's right. Okay, Mikhail, you were the one who picked the staircase piece. I can't remember.
You son of an onion.
The future, says Chuck Arnold. Oh yeah, when 20 out of 20 pieces are all digital that we end up choosing. Well, what are you gonna do? It's okay. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, Chris. Blasphemy, says Tricky Trapster. Oh man,
I'll be more careful in the future, boys. I apologize.
That's funny.
I do like it a lot.
If I wouldn't have said anything about that border, we would have walked away and not known.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, that's all right. It's okay. It's a new, brave, crazy world that we live in as art collectors.
The reason that really bothers me in retrospect is when I saw David Marquez as the artist, I was like, oh, I thought he went like 99% digital, but okay, cool.
Okay, well, now we know. Now we know. So what was interesting there, right? I've already closed the window. I shouldn't have done that because I wanted to check out that one artist, but there, I did tab over to look at a color piece. Why would somebody who's working digitally do it in black and white and then have it digitally colored too?
Well, the artists don't often color their own work. It still goes to a digital colorist.
That's all right. That seems weird to me. If I'm going digital, I'm doing full colors. Why would I only do?
Well, not everybody has the command of color. It's a different skill set.
All right. I get you. It just seems weird.
If I feel like I could still execute a relatively sane legible drawing of like Batman or something, and I haven't drawn in a long time, I could draw you Batman. But if you wanted me to color Batman, shade Batman, forget it.
All right. It's I'm having a hard time with that leap, but I guess I can get it. There are guys who are going to be great digitally, just in black and white, and they need their colorist digital counterparts to do that. Okay, I don't know. I'm still having a hard time with that. I'm gonna think about it. All right, so let's see. I gotta get mine loaded up here. I tried to be a little different. I don't know if I succeeded or not. I do think I succeeded a bit. So let's see here. So Chris K had this Little Nemo in Slumberland, which we don't see too often on CAF. So
No.
I had to go with this one. I mean, what is this from, like 1910, 1913? I mean, it's got to be early. I mean, I don't know. What
1906.
Is that what it's? Oh, shoot, 1906. Holy
Wow.
mackerel. December 30th, 1906. I mean, look at that. It's just great. I love seeing historical pieces like this on CAF. And you know, I think McKay came up in the conversation with Eater the other night, and it just had me thinking. So when I was finalizing my picks, I was like, I'm going to add this one in there because we just don't see pieces like this too often on CAF. And you know, you wonder what somebody back in 1906 was, you know, did they realize how amazing this artwork was when they were seeing it in the newspaper? I don't know. I mean, it's so gorgeous, and there's so many smart things going on in here. I love that last the not the panel with them in bed, but this large panel at the bottom. I love how, you know, the heavier ink outlines on the characters in the foreground and more detail in them, and then the slight less detail, lighter use of ink on these clowns in the background. That's just so smart. And you'd think, gosh, were they really thinking about it like that in 1906? They were.
Well, and what always blows me away about these like early drawings is they're creating a visual language from nothing. It's not like today where it's like, oh, we're
Chris is frozen in his
whatever run, you know, like this is all they had.
Right. Nope. You froze there for a second, Chris, but you are back. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. You looked really angry at the
I was pontificating.
You were. But no, I agree. Like you said, they are creating a language right here that didn't exist. And, you know, again, it's McKay's style here. I mean, and I know it definitely is a little different at different periods, but I love this. I mean, look at the, you know, like the chariot here, the heavy outline, and then doing the light work here on the horse and on the chariot. I mean, this is just, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's funny how they had to do 1, 2, 3. They wanted to make sure it's so early that they had to tell you which panel to go to because they didn't think you could read left to right. But
sequential art was so new.
Right. That we even had to tell you the 8th panel, which is inset in the 7th one, is the 8th panel. But hey, you do what you got to do when you're inventing something new. So yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I'd love to own something like this. This is it's fantastic. Look at that, almost 116 years old, and it's oh gosh, that's just crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable. I would not kid you, Chris. Oh man. And Marcus says half the country was illiterate. That's probably true too.
Probably better than half.
Yeah. Wow. So well, congrats to Chris on that one. And so next up, you know, I think I've picked the Johnny Comet once or twice in the past, but this is Mark Levy's collection. Mark, of course, has great taste in original art, and I love these early Frazetta comic strips. I mean, they're just fun. I mean, and you look at, like, I love how in these you know, you always get the goofy guy who's comically drawn, you know, big cheeks, cigar. I mean, look at him here. And then, but the woman, gorgeous,
like a statue.
Yeah, she's a knockout, perfect. And but I just love this stuff. And Frazetta was Zipatone, you know, just like it just, what do you know, it's like I have a hard time wrapping my head around it, you know, that it's being done. And I mean, what year is this? I didn't even bother to check. It's got to be on here. 52. So it's a 70-year-old piece of art. I think there's actually a nice Johnny Comet, a Frazetta Johnny Comet. It's either can't be in the weekly auction, so it must have been in the Heritage Signature auction. But you know, these don't come up too terribly often, these older ones, and there's a nice one in one of the Heritage auctions. But yeah, this is awesome. I love it. And look, I love his watermark, Mark Levy, custodian. You see that?
All right.
That's good too.
It's unobtrusive. It's classy.
It is. I like that. But yeah, see, if I had one, I mean, I would look at this at least once a day. I mean, I would want this on the wall, so you know, so I could see it, because this is bathroom
art for sure. This is bathroom worthy.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Well, congrats to Mark on this one. I haven't seen Mark in the chat tonight, but yeah, this is fantastic.
Incredible.
Did he add it just in time? Yes, he added it early enough that he could get it into the best of. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep. And then this next piece, of course, was posted by Felix, Matt Wagner, Mage 3 page. I would kill for anything from that, the first Mage series, and this page would be a grail for me. I mean, just absolutely killer. And I can't be jealous of other people having great artwork, but I see this and it's just like, oh, I drool.
But yeah, the
There's a little bit of drool.
Yeah.
So I mean, what this is that era when you figure Ninja Turtles are coming out, the Elementals are out there, you got Mage Call coming out. I mean, there was just some cool stuff happening, and this is really what turned me on to Wagner's work was this book, and I loved it. And this is I think, what did I read? Felix said, my very first OA want list included a Mage page. It took 17 years, but the right one finally showed up. Wow. So I mean, and that's true. That's kind of cool, that you can have something on your want list and wait it out, right? Because there have been other pages from this book, from the series, that have been out there, but Felix was like persistent. Or patient. He was very patient. I am gonna wait till I find the one that's right for me. And shoot, man, you couldn't have picked a better page. Oh, and don't forget Elf Lord and Thunder Mace. All right. How could I forget?
Patience, and I mean...
Uh-oh. Chris is froze again.
My internet.
Yeah, it kind of hiccuped on you. It said patient. You said patience and we
judicious. Because I have to imagine that a guy like Felix had opportunities.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it was on his want list, I mean...
Yeah.
No, Felix, I'm sure he was offered, other pieces from this run before. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a great one. So 2 thumbs up on this piece. And did he get it in early enough to be able to put it in the best of? Yes, he did. And look, Felix is a previous best of winner, 2021. He might get another one with this piece. It's that good. So yes, let me get my like on that one. And so here's the one from somebody who also has no artwork on CAF. I've never heard of Joshua Alvarado, and this is a Harley Quinn piece it's in Greg and Amanda Spat's CAF gallery. Yes, Greg and Amanda, they have a very diverse CAF gallery. I've met Greg a few times at the IX show, so he commissions people that we normally wouldn't get to see here on CAF. So I actually had to go out and Google this artist and figure out what else they had done. And I don't really know if they've done a lot of published work. I had to go over to their ArtStation gallery just to kind of get a feel for their work. But I just thought this piece was, and it's very consistent with everything else that this artist has done, whether they were doing kind of a riff on a familiar character or not. But I just thought the line work in this thing, I mean, yeah, I mean, look at this is like Bernie Wrightson-ish kind of mixing in of the way that the angled ink work going on in here. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I mean, the translucent stuff here. I mean, the attention to the detail around the face, and then a few other areas just pink. I mean, and then the car. Holy crap! Look at the car. Yeah. I mean, the grill on that thing is it's. I love this piece.
I like the character design too.
I do too. The hat. I mean, it's got a skull on it. It's like kind of One Piecey feeling in its own weird way. But
or like Captain Harlock's shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Right. I mean, I like this piece a lot, and and that's an axe. The first one I looked at, I'm like, is that a ball bat? What is she holding there? And no, it's an axe. I mean, so it's like, yeah, I like this piece. So I don't know anything about this artist. I don't know how Greg got turned on to commission them, or outside of their ArtStation where to reach out to them. But shoot, man, they should get some other commission opportunities from people on CAF after this piece got posted.
I like this a lot too.
Yeah, I would like to see more work by this person on CAF. It has like a very printmakey kind of feel to it, especially in the car. The way they kind of did all this. It's almost like like a bird etching kind of thing that you'd run through a plate roller.
I could see this person doing the Punisher for my CAF gallery. That could happen.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. So Comic Art Fans Update 127 sponsored by Coke and Band-Aid. Yeah.
Welch is on fire tonight. I think he's into something.
Yeah, exactly. The new year, he's got the spirit in him. But yeah, no. Again, what was the artist name? Let me say it. Joshua Alvarado. Just make a note of that name and Google them. And again, ArtStation was the only place. I don't think that they've got any published work out there that I could find. Or
Is
ask
Matt
Greg.
Moore in the chat?
What's that?
Is Matt Moore in the chat tonight? I don't think I've seen him.
I think he was there early, but I haven't seen him in the chat late.
I'm wondering, like, so the license plate is Misfit, and she's got that like Captain Harlow cap on. I almost wonder if this is like a Misfits, like Glenn Danzig almost like theme.
Let's see. The idea came from the Misfits song "American Nightmare." And there you go. He says, follow Josh on Instagram at Social Piker. So
that's my favorite Misfits song.
See,
that's cool.
You like this art even more, don't you?
Wow.
Dang. There, yeah, even NSR just mentioned the same thing. Yes, based on a Misfits song. And Matt Moore is here. All right. Thank you, Matt.
What do you think about this, Matt?
I'm telling you, I mean, I want to look this guy up. I mean, I want to see more artwork by them on CAF. I mean, the more I'm looking at it, the more I like it. Shoot. Yeah, I'm going to reach out. I am. I'm actually going to ping them through their ArtStation. Let's see, Josh, I'm making a note. Going to do it.
Send me contact information if you think about it, please.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it. Cool. All right. Did I? Yeah. Nope, I did not. Here we go. So thank you, Greg, and congratulations for adding that one to your CAF. Next up, this is a Stephen Platt piece. We don't feature much from Stephen, or there is no. What are you laughing at? What am I missing?
Saying we don't feature much from Stephen Platt. I mean, like, yeah, of course we don't, because when it shows up, it's like blam.
I know. When I saw this one, I mean, I wish this was a bigger scan, everybody. This is as big as this one gets, but all the, I mentioned it earlier, all the 90s pouches and things going on with this character, the visor, all the, it's just crazy. Everything about it. I've always loved Platt's over the top style. And this, I don't even know I don't even know what the character is. Double tap pinup from Asylum number 2. I don't know what that is. But I just saw this piece and I'm like, damn, it's so darn awesome. I've got to feature it. So Platt, for me, a lot of, I miss the 90s stuff in comics, but whenever I see a Platt piece, I always have to look twice. There's something about his style that always appealed to me more than, more than anybody else during that period. Even, Jim Lee, whatever. I always thought Platt was just so cool. And this piece speaks to me. So, again, just incredibly done, graphic. I mean, and the smoke trail not being like it's not. It's Why did he draw it like that? I don't know, but it works. So, yeah, I don't know. What else? What would you like to say about this piece?
I think so what I liked about Stephen Platt was he did what everyone else was doing, but yeah, Chuck Arnold just said what I was going to say. Damn you, Chuck. He did it all at the nth level.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Chuck. Chuck, why don't you do a pick sometime, my friend? I know you're not too busy because you're usually hanging out with us. So Thursday night, yeah, put you on the list, man. Jason says it sucks that most of his Moon Knight stuff is fading away. I guess maybe I haven't seen any.
Was it marker, Jason?
I'll check out stuff on CAF. I guess I haven't seen that. But well, that's too bad. But a lot, there were guys in the 90s using markers. We all know that.
Right.
That'd be too bad. Marcus says, calm down, Billigan. You'll get Poussey soon enough. I will. I'm going to order that 8-ball tonight.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what I've been missing out on, apparently.
Hey, Chuck says sign him up.
Chuck says, all right, Chuck. We'll put you on the schedule. I'm making a note on that one. I'll float a couple dates your way, and you can pick which one you want to do. All right, cool. But yeah, this is awesome. And who's Calf Gallery? Some collector. So we don't know who this lady or gentleman is, but yeah, some collector. Been on the site for a while, 6 years. So almost 6 years. They'll have their anniversary next month. Their
calf anniversary.
Yeah.
Jason says yes, they were inked by a marker. That's too bad.
Chuck says he's going to pick all quietly. There isn't enough quietly posted on a weekly basis for you to do an all quietly.
There was an all-star page posted though, and I was dangerously close to, or wait, was that this week? Chuck should host next, or should be on next week, because there was actually, I think, an all-star Superman piece posted this week.
Well, there you go. But they've got some collection. Yes, they do.
Everybody's on coke tonight.
Yeah, what is going on tonight? This is fun. All right, so next piece. I almost can't zoom in on this next piece. I hate to say it, but I will, for the sake of, this is an art show. This is Jeff Darrow, a hard-boiled #2 spread from 1990. I mean, just from here, right? I mean, you're just like blown away by the detail on this. I assume this is, does it list the size? I mean, it's a double-page spread, obviously, but usually even then it's probably oversized, right? But this thing is just unbelievable. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of lewd stuff going on in this thing. Yeah. But it is, it's just. I mean, just I'm blown away. I mean, the amount of detail packed into this thing, he was just going nuts. I mean, he still does today, right? But this piece, something about this piece is, I mean, look at the car. Look at all the details in that car. Holy cramoly. That's about the only non-lewd thing in there is the car, isn't it?
Everything is perfectly in perspective. I mean, perfectly.
Yep. Right. I mean,
every piece of trash, yeah,
there you go, Mr. Easy Lucky. That's nuts. How long did it take to finish? Hard to say.
And look at Seltz. He's got a knife sticking out of his back, so we're on brand.
Oh my God. This thing is just, it's, I just can't even imagine. I mean, there's a cat on somebody's shoulder. I mean, just the imagination going into this. And then again, like you said, the perspective on the people. I mean, it's just so well done.
And where do you stop? If you're Jeff Darrow, where do you stop?
Right. Right. Well, I mean, I don't know where. I mean, because you look at the signage on the walls, you get the Mad logo up there. I mean, he doesn't stop anywhere. Somebody's about ready to kiss an old lady in a wheelchair in the back. I mean, there's a no wheelchair sign right in front of her. I mean, there's just you could stare at it forever, and there's just so many crazy references and stuff in it. I'm not even gonna say all the things.
He always used to do like people's tattoos would be like old gasoline brands or like stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, This is when he was, I mean, really, really top of his game.
Agreed. Wow. It's that's an interesting thought. Innocent said, I wonder if he puts the perspective lines underneath since he works on vellum.
He has to.
He's got to be laying something out.
He has to.
Yeah.
I've never seen him draw, but by God, I'd like to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. So anyways, I just had to pick this piece because I liked it when I didn't look at all the details. I mean, just look at that. That is just unbelievable. And it's from, again, 1990. Whew. Just, yeah. I mean, I've never owned a piece by Darrow, but that would be cool.
I have one right there.
You do? You lucky dog. Yeah,
I look at it all the time.
Well, this is in Tom Coker's Calf Gallery. Tom has a great calf gallery if you haven't spent any time in it. And he'll be having his 18th calf-versary in a couple months as well. So congrats to Tom on that one. Did he get this one in there? Yeah, look at that. See, 12/31. We might see that one in the best of. Dino says, where's Waldo-esque hyper detailed? Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Waldo can hold Jeff Darrow's jock.
Nope. No, he can't. All right. So this next one, I mean, this one isn't anything special, but it's Tim Truman and it's Grimjack, and I know there's not a lot going on in it, but for me, I always like Tim Truman,
Me too.
Grimjack.
Grimjack especially.
And it's an end page, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool, because there isn't enough of Tim's Grimjack work on Cav. So I saw this one, I'm like, I'm picking it just because this would be I can say it's my nostalgic pick, because I just liked it. I was like, man, we just don't have enough Truman stuff out there, because I was turned on to Truman when he was doing work for TSR, for some Dungeons and Dragons modules and stuff. And that was kind of, I think, right before he did Grimjack. And then, so I thought it was awesome, because for me, Willingham was a D&D artist, Jeff D. All those guys ended up doing some work in comics, but, and Willingham more than anybody. But I always thought, when I saw a guy doing a D&D module or a monster manual or anything like that, and then get comics work, I always just thought that was so cool to see them kind of
made it.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they didn't think they were making it. I don't know which, but for me, as a fan of the art, especially on the D&D side of things, I just thought it was cool when that happened. And so I've always liked Tim's work. So it's been a long time. I mean, I think, when did I see him? I think I saw him early in my collecting days at the Pittsburgh Comic-Con. But I regret not. I don't even know if I know I didn't pick up any pieces by him, but that would have been the time, because it was like 2002, 2003, and it would have been cool to go back in time and see what he had available back then.
Yeah. Talking about this is making me want a Grimjack piece.
Right. No, I would love to get a Grimjack piece. So this one is in Rick W's Calf Gallery. Has a best of badge from, what do we got, 2021 there. I should make those a little easier to read. I shrunk them down a little too much, and Rick's got 2 thumbs up already. So Rick, congrats on that one, man. It's fantastic. I mean, I am jealous. Let's see, next piece. This was an Aranga piece. This was actually my 10th pick. I had a hard time taking the 10th piece, and I ended up going with this one because I'm not familiar with Joey Lee Cabral, although I know I've seen the name on CAF a bit. But as an X-Men fan and whatnot, I Cyclops was always. I know, Marcus, you can ridicule me all you want. The team leader kind of thing for me, I think, is where it comes from. Cyclops was always like near the top of the list as far as X-Men goes. But the thing I loved about this piece was that use of red. Right? I mean, his blue costume is practically gone. It's purple, right? It's red. It's red, or it's a little bit of purple. He's just taken that the ruby red effect throughout this, and then transformed Cyclops' costume. I love the use of blacks around here. They're heavy. In a weird way, it's a lot like the Marv piece. His left leg is missing. His elbows are gone. I mean, there's a lot of thought that was involved in this for the layout and how he wanted to handle this single character commission, right? So yeah, I dig it. I mean, I'd love to own this piece.
Reminds me a little bit of like Tommy Lee Edwards, or a little bit Andrew Robinson too, I guess.
Sure.
Which are both compliments in my book. But I think what I like about this is when I do find a Cyclops piece that I'm drawn to, it's one where he's like kind of like just letting it rip with his powers. And this is one of those. Like, there's a cool James Heron that's on the site too, where like his, the power effect is just like going insane. So yeah, this is a great piece.
Yep. No, congrats to Aranga on this one. Rick says I can call myself #1 Cyclops. Maybe for a week I will change my
there you
name.
go.
Yeah, I'll put an AKA #1 Cyclops fan
later on. Yeah.
Like it. I love it. Man, we are all having a great time on this first show in 2023. And there you go, Chuck. That's true. Jim Lee's legacy on that costume.
And some other things, Chuck. Yeesh. I'm not sure I want you picking art anymore.
And Bootlegging said Storm is a far superior leader. Come on. That's a slight right there.
Yeah, she's claustrophobic though. So
exactly.
Throw her in a box and she doesn't know what to do anymore.
Oh man, but I do really, really like this piece a lot. And I saw Jason said the same thing. It's very cool. And it was my 10th pick. I had my 9, but this one was, I kept going around looking at about 10 different pieces. And I was like, nope, I just got to go with this one. I like it too much.
I like it.
So now this one kind of threw me. I mean, it's Synod Inks, right? Immediately, but Ramona Fraden pencils on a this is FF 133, and again, this is what it's more than 50 years old now. So I mean, that I picked it straight up because it's Fraden pencils with Synod Inks. I mean, look at that panel.
It reads beautifully. I mean, my God, how perfectly rendered this is.
Right, and it's got the thing in it. I mean, I'm sure you saw this page, right?
I did. I actually didn't pick it because I was like, I'm not picking a thing piece this week.
Well, I picked it for you. Look at that. I love the thing in this panel. I mean, look at he's like clutching. He's
why would he be cold? Come on,
right? He can't be that cold. Come on, nobody else is cold, but the thing is the one who's shivering.
Yeah.
So no, I love this thing. I mean, I would kill for this page. This is amazing. And we always think of Fraden's work, in DC, right? Metamorpho and everything. But it's so cool to see her doing Marvel's first family, right? I mean, this is great. I mean, that first panel crammed with people. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I love it. I love everything about this page. And Synod Inks just, he makes everybody look at least twice as good as they are in real life. And
otherwise, yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think this is like I said, the rendering is just, it's perfect. And what's really cool about this is this page, actually, those bottom 2 panels, now that I'm looking at them, do you see like Mike Allred there?
Yeah, in a weird way. I see.
Like where if Mike Allred read this book, it was like, oh, okay, like he got a little influence from this.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of funny. I mean, well, look at things eyes are drawn rather odd by her in this one. I mean, but no, I
did that from time to time too, though, where they were just grapes in his skull.
I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, no, I see what you're saying about a little bit of Allred in there. Definitely
Johnny's face on that bottom left.
Yeah. So, and Carl Sodergren mentions that this is the only book the 2 worked on. Well, then there's only
tragedy
20 other pages out there that I'm gonna have to go find one. I mean, I would love to own a page. It's amazing, and it is a very nice New Year page. Skullgraves says Peter Rowe.
Chuck Arnold says like Frank Miller.
I did see that on the Discord when you guys were talking about it. I haven't been over on the Discord in a while, but I saw that conversation. What was like 3 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, this is. This is great. Doggone it, because I actually have never owned anything by Ramona, and and partially because I'm not a DC guy. Every time I see anything, even if it's just a pencil sketch, commission.
I bet you can do a great Thor though after seeing that, don't you think?
Oh hell yeah! That's true. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could talk to Catskill and see if I couldn't work out. I mean, I hear she still does 8 to 10 pencil commissions a month. So
that's incredible.
She still is active. That's a good idea. Maybe I should. But still,
and they're still good.
Right. All right. I mean, I got to make a note of that, or I'll forget. Ramona Thor. All right. So that was, so Carl, I'm glad you were here to see us talk about it. What a page. Have to see what that whole, yeah, I agree, Cosler, because I can't think of the issue either. I want to go back, but I got to find a page from this. What? Scott just posted a 6x6 store from her today? What? Wait a minute. Nobody go to Catskill.
Hold on.
I'm going over there right now.
Click over, yeah.
Oh, but it's not a great one. It's a good one, but I'd want to have a full figure piece if I could get one. This one looks like it's it's a bearded. It's not quite. It's $80 though for anybody who wants to get it. I want to get a published page though, but no Fraden's Cyclops. No. All right. Last piece for me. Somebody.
Costume.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Daniel says he's been on Ramona's wait list for a year and a half, getting closer to the top. And I know that she has a long wait list. And even Jason says that they posted a storm sketch today too. Wow. How did I not? I'm not paying enough attention anymore. So this is an Enrique Breccia piece. This is from something called Tex Captain Jack. But Breccia is not somebody that we pick too often. But then again, we don't see a lot of Breccia art on CAF very often. But I just loved. There's a lot. There's a lot to love about this piece.
Man, is there ever?
Yeah, I love. I look at this tree. I mean, there's just and it's like I'm looking past the figures initially. I love the way the tree is drawn. I love this whole panel here with the background characters and. God, the whole panel layout is just gorgeous. I love the way the stylization he's got where he's drawing the figure's face here. I mean, there's Sean Gordon Murphy in the way he's like doing these outlines, and it's but it's just I just love this piece, and I don't think the scan does it justice. I bet you this thing was scanned in like grayscale, and I think we're probably missing a little bit of
contrast.
Yeah, a little bit, but I still love it.
I think what's so cool about this to me is the figures, the faces look like sculptures.
Yeah,
I mean they're so dimensional. The rendering is done in such a way that there's so much shape and there's so much contrast. They look three-dimensional. It's incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And the more I'm looking at this piece, I love it. Absolutely love it. So
that middle panel, wow.
Yeah, isn't that great? That's I don't know. The more I look at it, I'm impressed. I'm so glad I saw this piece. This was probably the second piece that I picked for today, just because it was just so good and so rare at the end of the day to have on CAF too. So I'm happy to have it and on the site. And this is darn good.
I think one of the things that to me separates a good illustrator from a great illustrator is like the decision-making process in like what gets included, what gets left out, like how individual components of a panel, like how does he choose to do what's positive, what's negative, like all those kinds of things. And like the decision-making process in that middle panel is just impeccable.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I know, again, as a campsite, it's damned incredible. I mean, just the right number of figures.
And it's just an interior page,
It is. It's so nicely done. You can contrast that to the prior piece we saw, in the New Year's Eve, Times Square-ish kind of scene to this one. I mean, two really phenomenal artists tackling these different scenes in a 5 or 6 panel layout. This is awesome. And David G. I mean, yes, or David. I never know. David. They have a great CAF gallery. If you've never been in it, just unbelievable. I mean, I've seen this Topi. I've gone to this one several times. I mean, he has a great CAF gallery. Oh, look at that, the Wrightson Hulk thing. I'm sure you've seen that one. But yeah, just. Yeah, we can even look at it once before we end the show tonight. Look at that. This is one. This is such a great story. Love the art from this book. But dang. So anyway, those are my picks for the night.
This was fun, man.
It was. This was a lot of fun. A very lucky collector, says Peter. Definitely. So
and a great eye.
Marcus says this isn't digital, right? My 10th pick was not.
He's been saying that like every piece.
Oh, has he? Okay, I haven't been paying attention. So yes. Oh man, but no, fun. A very fun night. Absolutely, Chris. I mean, if this is the first show of the new year, what will the next 51 shows be like? Yes, they're all going to be like that. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think taking that week off was kind of good for me. I think I needed it, and it's definitely helped to kind of kind of refocus things for me. I'm try to have more fun in 2023, as if we can have more fun. I think we are gonna have more fun. I think you're gonna end up with more art on your walls too as the year goes by.
Fact, I actually have a piece at the framer right now. So underneath the Dustin Weaver Wildcats is going to be a new piece very soon.
Well, what's going into that space back there? I've always wanted to ask you.
The itty bitty space. I'm actually
in front of the art. Is there going to be? Are you putting like a table there, like right in front of that section?
Nothing.
You know, so it's literally
so you
your
can
gallery.
Walk right up to it. Yep. Look, get as close as you want to it. Yep.
Daniel said 3 DC picks out of 20. Tisk.
Yeah.
Well, Marv was not a Marvel pick, and the Breccia wasn't a Marvel pick, so we can't say they were all Marvel picks,
right?
That but yeah, we didn't lean too much into the DC side of things.
We went around the world a little bit. We had a couple Italians. We had
that's true. Yeah. That's true. There was that commission. Yeah. All right. Next new category digital.
I gotta get out of here before Marcus like scathes me too deeply.
Yeah. Here, I'll get your opinion on. Let's see, what was it? Just before you go, it says I can. Here, I'll go back to my screen here because it was something when I looked at the best of categories that I was going to suggest for next year. Let me get this back in the stream and go back and look at the preview. Because now, I mean, look at this. We are over 800 pieces submitted in a day and a half, which is ridiculous. I don't remember where we ended up last year, but I think we're going to shatter records as far as the amount of pieces added to it. But as we get down to the further stuff, I mean, I was thinking that like sketch covers and convention sketches don't really belong in the same category anymore. I mean, the quality of both are so different anymore that, and the people who collect sketch covers aren't necessarily convention sketch collectors, and vice versa. I think that they should be their own unique category.
I'm inclined to agree.
Okay, good. So that's one of my notes for Brian, and then the other one. What was the other thing I was thinking?
I also think that the your comment about the market I think is maybe more pertinent than almost anything else, because people that collect sketch covers tend to, I don't want to say all greatly, but a lot of them just do sketch covers.
Correct. And here was my other one was this one here, this published, unpublished comic book pinups, illustrations, and trading cards. I mean, I almost think sketch cards should get knocked out into its own category, because there are just sketch card collectors. Now we might not get a ton of them, but how do you put a and I know by trading card artwork there may be referring to things like Joe Jesko or whatnot, but I think sketch card guys are going to put their stuff in this pinups category too.
I always took trading cards. Yeah, I always took trading cards as like cards that became a trading card.
Yeah, all right, I guess so.
Maybe the thing to do would be to do sketches and sketch cards.
I'm thinking, well, that's what I'm thinking is sketch cards. Either they need, you're right, sketches and sketch cards. I don't know, but they're so much smaller. But some of them cram in so much detail that they're. Yeah. But how would you compete? Because right now, where do sketch cards go? I mean, they could be published? Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, well, no, they'd be unpublished. But where do they go? Do they go in sketch covers and convention sketches? Because it doesn't really have a place. And I guess that's why when I'm thinking trading cards, I was thinking that, but no, but it just doesn't really fit.
Because you could almost make an argument that like trading card art is more at home than in the same place as gaming art.
In a weird way,
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can slice and dice this.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, yeah. I think it's a conversation we seem to have every year about breaking these things up a little bit more and making them a little more.
Well, the point to me would be like, where do you get to like diminishing returns? Like, where do you get to where there's only like 10 entries or something? You know, because then the concern to me would be like winning is like, well, whoop-de-doo, like I got number 2 out of like 5 guys.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. I just want to, you want to keep things on an even level if you're going to be putting things into a category, I guess.
I guess what I would say is like look at the metrics, and maybe even last year will help you decide. Like look at the metrics and figure out like were there 200 pieces in this category where it's in like how many of them were kind of like each type, and then can you get more granular without sacrificing the size of the group?
Correct. No, you're right. It'd be something to look at and figure out later. But you agree with me on the sketch cover concept.
I do.
That has to be separated, I think, because again, a Daniel Warren, we could have they could be in the top 5, all Daniel Warren convention sketches.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They just totally wipe out any of the sketch covers that are in there or other convention sketches that are worthy. But yeah, I think that's got to be broken out at the very least. All right, well, cool. I think you're right there. This will be a conversation for us all to have after we see how many pieces get entered into all of the categories and figure out
post-mortem.
Right, because Brian said that the reason they never had a DPS category was because it took away from the splashes category. And I mean, where are we at now? Splashes and title pages are at 20 or 68, and DPS is, I mean, did I pass it already? I think I did, yeah.
The other interesting thing about this bill is that like it crosses so
31.
It crosses so many different, like, I don't know, factors, because it's like, first you've got published, unpublished, like I get that for sure. And then it's like splashes and title pages, like, okay, that makes sense. But like some of these, it's almost like you're merging type of art, how it was, like what it was created for. Yeah. Like, so there's just a lot of like, I don't know. Some of it seems arbitrary, but then some of it seems like very deliberate.
Yeah, I mean, and Brian is the only one who knows, because it's like you have this commission's recreations category against a pinups, illustrations, and trading cards. I mean, everything, they all cross over. It's like pieces could fit in either one. I mean, a commission is a pinup. I mean, and we all know this is a CAF University topic, right? Because anything that's a pinup is supposed to be a published piece,
right?
So putting a pinup in a published unpublished category doesn't even work, because pinups are supposed to be published. So
tell Berkey that, though.
I know. I know. Yeah, he doesn't follow that train of thought, unfortunately. But I do agree with you. Carl says, I suggest the pieces in Carl's category. Okay.
Jason nailed it. If it's on the outside of a book, it's a cover, not a pinup. If it has panels, it isn't a splash. Amen, Jason.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? The 3 vertical panel splash. That's
right. Yeah.
Whatever the hell Anthony tried to come
vertical splash.
But yeah, well, we should dissect it a bit, I think, after this period for sure. And maybe I'll pull together like 5 or 6 of us, and we'll try to just go through it and figure out the best way to kind of parse things out to make things work better. And I agree with you. If you find that a category isn't really getting enough, breaking it out into its own wouldn't make sense.
Right.
You're just creating a new award. If you only have, but the thing is, if they're just thinking of it in terms of sketch cards, right, that aren't listed anywhere in this at the end of the day, now that I've taken trading cards out of my brain and it's really sketch cards, who in the hell would ever submit a sketch card to a competition like this, competition in quotes like this, when they have no category that fits them, and they just don't they wouldn't have a chance of ever even being noticed. Right. Nobody would look at the detail. They just scan
There's
over.
Some great ones out there too.
Correct. I mean, shoot, man. I mean, I don't follow it closely enough, but it's surprising when you compare. If you look at on eBay, the sketch card category that's selling, mm-hmm. there are weeks where the sketch cards are selling for, there'll always be a higher one, like at $2,000, when there's the highest price 08 piece is only at $1,500. So there's some serious collectors out there, but we're not giving them any love here. They don't stand a chance. So
if you open it up like for discussion, I'm game to participate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will definitely rehash things after the best of and try to figure out where things go. But I'm glad you agree with the one, because that just seemed definitely too obvious to me.
Yeah.
So All right.
I think I think it can be more inclusive while also being more specific. Does that make sense?
I would agree. I mean,
Oh.
definitions, because somebody even texted me saying, where can I find a better definition of blah? I'm like, you don't really have one. So, yeah, well, we can do better. But the thing is, like we're seeing with the sketchbook, now I think these things kind of catch on. I mean, having over 800 entries now, I'd have to think we'll be over 2,000 entries before, all is said and done. I'd be surprised if we weren't. So as these things gain more traction and more usage, we definitely need to kind of establish better guidelines for people to follow. And it'd be good for the entire hobby to kind of put those things out there and make them more refined, I think. Yeah. So there you go. Jason's screaming now. If it had panels, it's not a splash.
Yes, Jason. Yes, we agree.
Yes. Oh, man. But all right. Well, Chris, as always, it's a pleasure. I loved your picks tonight. We'll do it again next week. We'll figure out where we can. I'll throw some dates by Chuck to see when he might like to do it. And what is it? Jason's still yelling in the chat. Start disqualifying pieces. That's the only way people will learn. Well, we don't have a disqualify option.
He's like the marshal of this now.
He is. He is. Oh boy, he's just keep putting exclamation points on the end of your sentences, Jason.
I'm gonna get out of here before he explodes.
Bootlegging says best 9-panel splash page.
And Jay's like blood squirting out of Jason's ears.
Oh man! All right, Chris. Have a wonderful night, man.
All right,
I'll
Bill.
see you again
Thanks.
next week.
Night, fellas.
Oh man! Well, what a wonderful show and a great way to start off the new year. This was a lot of fun, and I didn't even need to finish the second Coke to have this much fun tonight. So, again, this was great, and I appreciate everybody diving into the best of so quickly this year. I will send out, please. I'm going to probably send at least 3 or 4 reminders as we get through to whatever the date is, the 15th or whatnot, when we turn off the submissions. So. Don't mind them. Don't treat them as spam. But I will remind you a few times. And definitely when we get to the voting period, I will send out probably 4 or 5 emails reminding people to vote. Please, I would encourage people. We should get more people voting than submitting every year. And it's just weird that it's always half that. What about a splash sketch card? Says Jeff Wedding. Oh, Jeff. All right. Now I think it's time to call it a night. If you're in any private chats with Jason, expect to see multiple exclamation points tonight. And, and the best thing that came out of last night was when Mike said 11 by 17. That was, I don't know where I'm going to use that, but it's got to be a meme because he was still scratching his head. I hope everybody else caught it when he said that. I was laughing. I had to turn off my mic. I was laughing too hard when he said that. But anyways, have a great night, everybody. And I know we're going to have, we got so many fun things in the next month. It's just, it's unfathomable how we're going to get through it all and have, and still have our wallets intact. And just, again, I'm gassed for the next couple months here. So I'm super excited for it, but have a wonderful night. Yeah, Jason's already started. And, if, when we're going through processes like the best of, I would encourage people to send me suggestions via email, on the category stuff. I do actually, pull it all together. And now that we know we're going to be having a little roundtable after this is over, it'd be good to get suggestions. So I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget about Anthony's show next Monday. I don't have a show until next Monday, but if I will send out a reminder email tomorrow, look over Anthony's site. And if you want to make any offers, send them to me. Combo offers are definitely better. So pick multiple pieces, give them a fair offer, and you'll probably be able to walk away with some artwork. But I got to have the offers in via email midday on Sunday, the latest. So if you're going to do that, because the show will be Monday night at 9, 10 hours this week of shows. Well done. Thank you. Yeah, it was a busy week. All right, everybody, have a fantastic evening, and I will see you again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.